What up, everyone? AnuNnaKiShadowlands TheDWave, or Dreamwave. Dreamwave, it all goes together. Just got on, so I'm gonna wait a little bit for other people to join and such. Have a couple people I'm looking forward to following. Let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. What's up, my guy? I see you on here. So, yeah. The Dreamwave, the Dreamweave. Whenever I was going back and I did my 40-day fast, I found what's going on. That, like, how do you get back into yourself? We always hear this whole go inside yourself, go inside yourself, go inside yourself. But, like, no one ever really specifies this whole go inside yourself. It's just something that the spiritual people say. You know, all the gurus and all that stuff like that. What the hell? What likes can what is fanciness? These damn magic boxes. I mean, y'all know if y'all hit the lock screen right and like you look at it, it's a mirror. It's a black mirror. So that's the thing. African American, more like African American. You're damn right. But do you know America, that word actually means the home ruler? It's a thing. Names have meaning. So I'm not really worried about white or black or anything. You have to get to that problem where, like, there's a problem that people are having that they're not understanding. You're just the being inside of a body. Like, you get it, you know what I mean? But then, like, you go outside. You'll sit there in your house and be, like, all inside yourself. And then you go outside, and the next thing you know, like, boom, you're this person, you're black, you're white, you're this, you're that. But usually when you're hanging around, you're just a person doing things. You got to stay in your person the whole time. It's important to stay in your person, especially if you're going to enter into the D-Wave or the Dreamweave, okay? Because your person is your character. Who you are, who you act as, how you move, everything you do, that's your character, okay? And the only way a character is defined is by the actions they truly take. You can think a lot of things. You can speak a lot of stuff. And that has more effect than your thoughts inside of a way. Because eventually you get to a point where your thoughts are heavy and you start making things manifest. And then now you have to be really careful with your thoughts. Because if you're not careful with your thoughts, you're going to mess some stuff up. So you have to know what you're looking for. But ultimately, inside of the creation, it's what actions you are taking. You have to take different actions. You have to take your true actions. Like, you'll sit there and be like, your little kid self inside yourself, like, don't do this, you can do this, be your best self. And people choose to not listen to that, like, nah, I've been hurt too much, I've been fucked off too much. And then you go over here and go to this other stuff. You go deeper into the Shadowlands. So, the Shadowlands, like, how do I explain the concept? There's the you inside the day, and then if you go out at night, you're kind of like a different person. Everybody sort of has like these two sides, especially like once you start drinking and everything like that starts happening, you kind of shift into being a different version of yourself, and your inhibitions are lowered. Now you're your cooler self. You tend to go out and have that liquid courage to go up and talk to a person that you wouldn't normally talk to. Why don't you normally have that? Because you have limiters on your mind that keep you from tapping into that very person, that essence of your being, and just doing what you want to do. Okay? So the Shadowlands is the shadow within you. You can sit there and, like, you get to the point where you see a person who's passed out, right? This is like, I sit here and think about these things because especially with that dude that went out and the chick was passed out by the dumpster and he took advantage of her, right? And he's still like, they let him off easy. They don't want to ruin his life because he's a swimmer. I forget his name, but everyone knows the story. Like, what made him within himself decide to do that? There was a choice. There's a wait the moment when you see something happening and it's all going on here, and somewhere inside himself he knew that he was making a choice that wasn't wrong. Everything that we do that is bad feels good for some reason, for some people anyways, because it's the perception of what you think good and bad are. Like, go out and, like, if you're doing things you shouldn't be doing, now you're having fun, right? So is learning how to be doing and being in those shadow areas, and you're being that full self, but within that area, instead of doing things that are ignoble, you do things that are actually noble. We see it inside all the stories. These people live inside like the real, this undertone, the underground type stuff, and they end up having all this extra stuff going on. This whole complicated story life, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Angel, the TV shows, just little characters that we're looking in on and like everything like that. But you're a character that like you're looking in on. Like you're being looked in on. It's like the Truman Show, right? So you have to understand, like, if you're living in this multiple dimensional thing, right, where all the different multiverses are happening, well, there's beings beyond that play that are also observing at the same time. And it's like you're truly showing who you are and what your knowledge is and what you know. Once you sit here and close your eyes, because all of us can do that, and we're back in darkness, if you die in the original death, the first hell is sitting here with your eyes closed. No sight, no sound, no touch, no smell, no taste, no nothing. You're back inside the darkness. There is nothing there. And there's also nothing for you to fear. That's what the creator woke up in. That's where it all starts from. So there's nothing for you to fear, actually. Fear comes from being within the chaos. Once everything starts working, the big bang that fires up, it's one of the emotions that emerge, because it's another energy and motion that's going there. So ethics is subjective to people, but anarchy imposing on others is wrong. Exactly. Anarchy is against like having anyone as a ruler. So the way this whole thing functions, actually, if you just woke up in the void and you were like, man, I'm just here, I'm just doing things, think about that. Like, you just woke up there in darkness, and at some point in time you figured out how to make all this other stuff, and like you start learning how to use what you got, you start dreaming or whatever, however this emerges, however you want to see it, it feels very real. But it's told to us that it's a dream, and we say, like, inside our days now, that it's a simulation and stuff like that. Like, oh, it's a simulation. No, the Matrix is there, literally, because in a dream, it can rain hot dogs. And you'd be like, why is it raining hot dogs? Doesn't make no sense. There is no logic. Doesn't have to be logic. Doesn't have to be reason. Anything and everything can happen in a dream, in a moment. So there's nothing to keep you steady. You have to develop a matrix or something that you put other beings into to hold them steady, so they get a better sense of themselves, so that they can form their own identity of who they are, to be able to walk around the different parts of the creation or go to other worlds and still understand the basic rule of, when we close our eyes, all beings are in darkness. And if you look at, like, what, the Avatar movie, Jake Sully, the Marine from another world, went to their home world, and who did he end up hanging out with? The fucking shamans. All of a sudden he started having these spiritual warrior experiences, and he didn't know if he was human here on the Marine Corps or whatever space mission thing, them promising to fix his legs, or he's up here running and moving and living with these other people, and he's actually a part of their story. And he just happens to be here, but he sees them having an honest fight and struggle. And the thing within him that we are goes towards helping that type of thing. Vice being over here and be like, oh, the outer world, I'm this person, I'm this, I gotta fix my body, I have this whole thing. He's like, nah, if that, this is what's right now. He's living in the now and in that moment. You get me? So, and it's kind of the same thing that happens here. If you think about it, you talk about star seeds, right? The pineal gland has a star inside your head. You have everything runs off of singularity. Black holes are singularities. They get that accretion disk on the outside. Why are they forming light on the outside? They're constantly taking everything in. Why does it get a plasma ring? It should be pulling it in. Just by the basic things of what we were explained as of how this is, that shouldn't be happening, because it's a point there that's pulling all the things in. It's pulling, but it's actually spinning like a drain going back to the outside. And so you start to have the things here go around and focuses, but it gets to a certain point where, like, that ring is forming, and then you, boom, once that toroidal energy goes off and comes up, hits the ring, it makes the ring start rotating around the outside rapidly, and you get a spear because it rotates. And that's turning on the sun in your head. So, boom, we have a sun inside of our head. Why? It's a small little point of singularity. It's you are your own universe. What's going on, guys? 2.5. Hell yeah. Thank you. Thank you for all the likes, guys. Black holes are the beginning and the end of everything in the universe. And yes, the universe. You are the universe because you are one verse. One vibration, one rhythmical speaking. That vibration has its coding, you can say, but you haven't decided who you are, so it doesn't truly have a name. It's just a thing that's out there, but that's you. So, boom, you're taking in this information, like the mind. You're not an artificial intelligence, but you kind of are. Depends on the way you're living your life. So, you sit here as a little kid, and we go around, we ask these people questions. And we're like, yo, man, what's this? What's that? They're like, oh, this, why is the sky blue? Oh, this, why is the grass green? Oh, because photosynthesis and chlorophyll. Oh, why is a tree brown? Oh, because it's growing bark and that's the mineral deposits that's taken in. Why does it have rings? Because every year it shows what it's went through. And so we go through this conditioning socially to have you heard the Mama Apple? It's really good. The highest level of cultivators have. Oh. Yeah. The highest levels of cultivators have multiverses in there. What's that, Mama? I'm going to have to send it to me. Send me a message with that name in there later on so I can go read that. Because that sounds just about right. That's right inside my level, man. So you sit there and you have the energy flowing. You're taking in the light. You have this all going. Boom. It turned like you're constantly pulling in the information. The brain gets faulty over time. The only way to actually store your information is to make that singularity go on. You are the singularity. You're sitting here between darkness and light. You're somewhere in between the two, and you're observing the outside and the inside. It's like you can sit here and close your eyes and then start seeing stuff inside yourself. Especially when people take psychedelics, they start seeing all the extra stuff. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, oh, I'm having this whole experience inside myself. And it's like, yeah, well, that's the outside world. There's the inner world of the dreaming. But you've been here for long enough that your mind is contained, or you'll come back here. You have an anchor point. You come here to form an anchor point, and then you start doing things like that, or you go out and have various experiences, and you start building that internal world within you. You are constantly taking in information. You are forming the mind, the tonal, or the artificial intelligence. And often you'll be going around and be like, oh, why'd I do that? Oh, that's stupid. Oh, this and that's stupid. Oh, this and that's stupid. And it's like the mind will constantly yell at you, and you can sit here and listen to it. And when you do, as the being within yourself, listening to the negative thoughts of your own mind, you kind of stifle your own flame, and it goes down. The dark night of the soul is basically your own flame collapses in on itself almost, and it's about to go out, and then just roar. You're like, fuck this, fuck no. And you basically like explode outwards and go beyond your own mind and tell it to shut up. You belong to me. I don't belong to you. And you claim it inside there. You destroy your own mind. And inside destroying your mind that you've built, you return back to a state of purity. Pure. It's Walmart Tech 9. What's going on? That's right. I go to Walmart a lot. And I do look like Tech 9. So, whatever, bro. It's all good. It's just my face for right now. Schools won't teach meditation, or people might realize capitalism doesn't work. Capitalism would work if everyone was good people. If you're inside of a game, right, and you're playing a game, and you're out there doing missions and making money so that you can go buy gear, the system works. It's the people that are in the game that are running the stuff. They're like, but I want to have more. I want more things for me. I want a yacht. I want a big house. I want to go ahead and go here. I want to go ahead and do this. I want to go ahead and do that. This is what I want. And so they start accumulating all this money, so much money that they can never spend it. And it's like, for what? Oh, I'm going to hand it down to my family. They're going to be like the best iterations and blah, blah, blah. That's dumb. Whenever you sit here and think about it, if you take everyone as being one being, and like you're your own instance of existence. Best way to put it. And so therefore you're going through and playing your game the way you play it. Now if you get back in and get so deep within yourself, like your dreaming, your inner dreaming goes so deep that you fall into a trance, and all of a sudden all the things that are within you that you know, and you've researched all this quantum physics and everything like that, everything's exploding out of you at the same time, and you're looking around the world like, yeah, I know that I'm sitting in an apartment right now. This door is made of wood, and this wall is made of sheetrock. But these things are both the same thing. They're just arranged inside of different formats. And it's all the same stuff. The floor is made of the same thing as everything else. It's just different levels and densities. It's all the same stuff. And you keep that in your consciousness. Looking at other people, they're made of the same exact things that I am. They have their whole body, and like we're all made of the same bag of chemical soup. It's what we put in and out of ourselves that make us different. We're, adjusting our own state, but we're all made of the same thing. The basic building blocks for this type of life, because there's many different types of life that come into existence, mainly because awareness. The thing is that's different from me and you totally is your experience and your awareness of what you've been through and the story you're telling yourself. That's where it comes down to your character. That's why I say it's all about your character, because every character that's written has a backstory. And right now, you're here doing this, forming your backstory. You kind of went through all this stuff like that. And then you get to a certain point where you have to jump off a cliff and be like, who am I really? Is this what I am? Is this what I exist in? Is this the limitations of my reality? I was told that I'm a child of God. They say that. Would God be like, is this really the inheritance that a God would get? No, this is the inheritance that a man would get. So inside that case, you have to come to understand what it is you live in. Because nobody likes a ruler that doesn't understand or see other people and or won't explain things. But you can sit there and explain things, and some people, they don't get it. And eventually it comes to a certain point where, since the creator is a projective force pushing all the energy out, and we have this all stored here by concepts, ideas, and different things that have come from emerging from singularity to allow for this matrix weave to exist. That's the main projector. That's the sun is a person within us that's perceiving the whole Christ, the sun, Christ consciousness. To sync with that, you just got to sit here and be like, man, I'm just a dude doing things. You're a dude doing things. She's a dude doing things. He's a dude doing things. We're all just dudes doing things. Creator's a dude doing things. He has his own situations and circumstances. None of this here makes really any sense of how it comes to be. Science will tell you this and that, but at the most fundamental level, none of that makes sense. The Big Bang going off, like, oh yeah, the Big Bang went off. Well, what happened during the Big Bang? Well, we theorize this is what happened to make everything, and all these planets came out and all this stuff like that, and blah, blah, blah. So, it's about to go into your inner world while in a lighter area, or do you have to be in darkness? You can sit there and go inside yourself at any point in time. I can be sitting around, walking around, and I'm still in my temple right now. Normally I sing my chants to go deeper in a trance, but I already put myself in a light one. Enjoy, Enlil. Nope, not Enlil. Enki is red, Enlil is blue. Whenever the Tamaz and Demuz did, that's the ritual. Whenever you're going back in, since we're all female, receptive black holes, right? We're pulling that information in, and that ring is forming. Eventually, we go Yod and become a star and start giving off energy. We start, boom, pushing the energy off. So whether you're male or female, it's about going from that internal state of being a receptive being to being the projective being, and also syncing in with the host is inviting you to go live together. Sure, why not? Oh, it disappeared. So that energy goes off. Now you're linked in to the whole thing. The triple black darkness. Yeah, there's the three realms within it. It's even when I posted a video a while ago, you have to watch my stuff, I don't know where it is, but it just shows how a cell separates and grows. And when it separates, you can see like there's like a realm right here, another ring right here, and there's like an inner ring around it, and then the darkness that's there. It's like shiny darkness. And so, boom, energy comes in from singularity. Your soul, the energy goes all the way down to the base of your spine. That's where the Kundalini serpent lays, like hidden there, so coiled up, ready to rise back up, wanted to come up. Well, that energy is receptive. It's still a serpent because you lost your wings. The neocortex, we were dreaming and running around doing all the crazy stuff when we were kids. We thought everything was possible. We listened to people living out of their survival mind or out of their bird brain. And, you know, because survival is male, bird brain's female. It's the emotional mind. And so the two different things right there, we lose our wings. Whether you say I'm a woman and so I become like this and I'm in my feminine mind, or I'm more masculine so I'm in my survival brain, you fall into those two different things, losing your wings. So now you're a serpent. The serpent falls because you no longer have wings. Your neocortex fully active and integrated. You go down to the bottom. Now the coiled serpent sits there and waits. You have to go back up the 7 energy locks within your body, and come have different lessons. That's why Jesus and them teach like the mystery of the 7, because you can sit down and go into your daydreams, and like as you access the daydreams, the daydreaming state, and go to the place of forest or water, the yoga I teach. As you do that and just walk around those places, you'll start to run into other beings. And it's like a game. You see something pop out from behind the tree, you're like, oh, let me go. And you're running inside yourself, like after that being, because like you have somebody else that's there. Now you're like, you've been walking in this area alone for a while. Now you see another person. Now they're like, either they come out and talk to you, or like you give chase, or whatever sequence of events happens. It's like you're playing a game inside yourself. And so you meet this person, you go through events, and you pass that test. It allows you to move up to the next chakra, and now that person within you is known to you, so they can manage that energy. That's like the avatar you step into when you're in that area. And yeah, it's the inner astral plane. So boom, you go inside yourself, you work your way back up. Now I got back up here and I had my black rain gate thingy there for a long time. I'm like, I don't know what the hell that is. I'm not going into that. Yep, I'm gonna keep on playing the game. So I kept on building out my temple, and like I've been live for like 20 minutes. But let me see. Is collective consciousness concentrated on one thing, like the egregor would change things? If a collective consciousness concentrated on one thing, the egregor would change things. Collective consciousness on one thing, the egregor would change things. So, all right, like I was talking about the different areas having different avatars. All those different beings come together because you kind of are those people, and they're all watching from within you. And so you form your own egregor doing that way, because they're all different personality types. You have many different things going within you, different ways you can step out into. Sometimes I would sit around and get into a trance state and like switch over into one of my altars and let myself go out as that person and like experience things differently, projecting out a different type of energy from my form. And so like, you know, playing the game, having fun. Inside of that, you form your own form of collective consciousness. Now, collective consciousness, you gotta remember the Russian dolls, how they're one inside each other, inside each other, inside each other. All the children on this planet, they form their own type of collective consciousness as a seed package. And they fall out of dreaming, and then you fall into the world of man, or the man level of collective consciousness. And then eventually, like, you know, you individuate and like, oh, well, we're American. That's a type of collective consciousness. We're from Germany. That's a type of collective consciousness that forms nationalism. Oh, I have this religious. That's the type of collective consciousness. All these different collective consciousnesses are out there. And eventually you gotta get to a point where you're sitting there and being like, man, this is all bullshit. Like, there are many other worlds. How many different type of birds do we have on this one planet? What about ferns? How about ants? How about worms? Like, we sit here and see the worms, but they're different. They're not the same species of worm or genus or whatever. They're all different. So all these stuff that we sit here and watch movies, and like, we know that literally this is vibrating differently than this. So we're in a multiverse. That's the coding of it being a multiverse. Within you, all the energy that you have within you, that's all vibrating at your energy. So the world you build within yourself, that's your universe. Your one verse, that's your piece of the pie. And you're bringing that, manifesting it into the multiverse around you through your understanding of the dreaming. Okay? So, multiverse. Collective consciousnesses, it's all like, they're everywhere. Planetary collective consciousnesses, galactic collective consciousnesses. You can consider that these different places on the astral plane have different synods that you'll walk around in, and you'll have dreams where you're like on a spaceship walking around talking to people, and like you're there on some place. You are there. You are where your awareness is, and in those moments you are aware of being there, walking around, being that person, having that experience. So that's you. You're there. You're really there. It's just that you come here and you stay here most of the time, and you have this step to be that this is my only experience. This is who I am. Now, when you start going up there and you start doing that more, then a person all of a sudden, that's where you see people like they're walking around, they're talking to people out of nowhere. They're not here. They're literally on another plane of existence up here in the cloud. They're living inside this thing, and this body is just an anchor point for one of their existences, one of who they can be. Because obviously at some point in time, that being or entity that was there decided to leave this world behind and go live up here, and some of them never come back. It's part of like how the whole thing, like, it's a part of the thing. I knew when I went through my fast, there was a me that was sitting there and had been like gone crazy for a long time, and all of a sudden I started going to all these different worlds where I was, where I've been, where I've dreamed of being, and I start recalling my information from that place. I start pulling my light back from it, and like, this is mine, this is mine. And it's like these places don't have to be just this one place in time, because everything is happening right now. So you can be living in one of your past lives, experiencing one of your past life experiences, and be like, was that my experience? Yeah, that was my experience. I remember. And you're pulling your pieces back. And as you pull back these pieces of light, essentially, like, you can imagine those people's bodies just breaking down to light and coming and focusing here within you. Like that movie with Jet Li, The One. You're pulling all that into you. Now, all these different worlds are within you. All these different people that you've been, but you're here right now. Inside of that state, inside of that place where you're here right now with all these different things, all these different voices within you are yelling, and you have to be like, no, we are one, and make it form together. This is where the whole demon concept of legion and stuff comes together. We are legion, because you merge with all that. Now, it's at the same point, because if you look at like the Hindu gods, Vishnu, he has many heads. That's what that symbolizes, why he has many heads. All those different beings he's been at the same time. It's what is fifth dimensional existence like? Like, everyone's like, oh, we live in a 3D. I'm telling you, the fourth dimension is the one inside yourself that you're not exploring, because that's the place that leads into the dreaming and back to the whole. And then the fifth dimension is like where you have all the different people and lives you've been living. If you watch like, who's that? Cosmic Disclosure with Gosha or whatever. And she's like, Swaru this and Swaru this, or Swaru X is talking, Swaru Z is talking. They're all the same person, Swaru, but they're different instances in life that she lives, and she's just pulling through that information inside of the way or whatever. So whoever's typing behind the keyboard, whether they're actually out there in the atmosphere or whatever, and they're from Tagada, or there's some random person just sitting there feeding someone's stuff, or they could be channeling and be stuck as a permanent channel for those entities and like not really no longer be themselves. Some people get so depressed they don't want to be themselves anymore, and they become a conduit. And that's why this is a spiritual battle. That's why this is a spiritual world, because you, the fire, or the spirit within you, the sprite, the ifrit, whatever, you are fire, and you have to have your own existence and not become completely subservient to someone else. You're not trying to become subservient to someone else. The creator doesn't want you to become subservient to someone else. What he wants you to do is to fucking understand what it is you live in, and if you understand him and how he came into existence, doesn't know why he's there. Like me and one of my followers, we had a discussion. He was like, so the creator just woke up, then there has to be someone that made him. I'm like, we don't know. That's it. from what he knows, there was no one before him. Like Yaldabaoth, the demiurge, he has a name. The creator was before him. Yaldabaoth remembers Sophia. He remembers having a mom. And then she tucked him away in the darkness. And then he was like, well, maybe I had a mom. And then he started making all this other stuff, and he became his own creator. And the creator's sitting there without a name being like, oh, interesting. Let's see what he does. I'm not going to say nothing. Eventually, he'll be like, why? And he'll go why enough to be like, it doesn't make sense my own existence, but there's someone before me. Has to be someone before me. If I have a mom, but she's not like me, then what's going on? And inside that confusion within Yaldabaoth, he snapped. And when he snapped, that's when he got the chance to go back to meet the creator. And the creator's like, yep, I'm here. What's up, dude? Been waiting for you. But, if I come out and make myself very obvious to you, and he does little things, he puts little things in your path, little obstacles. But if he makes himself too obvious to you, you'll be like, oh, well, I want to be with that dude. No, you have to have the whole forgetting thing. Like, you have to have your own experience and, like, find out what the hell you're going to do with eternity and understand the different types of powers that you have. So, like, the Lord was built to teach us these things. That's why the first thing we learn as children is stories and the lore. We don't sit here and start learning, like, math and all that extra stuff. It's supposed to feed the kids stories. Because the first thing they started was the word. And the word carries the stories. So, boom. So, yeah. You're building your character. You're telling your story. You're going through all these moments and all these instances. And it gets you back into the Shadowlands, you could say. Like, this is the world of light, but within yourself, there's all these shadows that are going on. And you're kind of like wading through the shadows of who you are, what you are to be. It's like walking, and like the light flashes, and then it's off, and you're in the dark, and now you're in like this cool mode, and the light flashes, and you're back to being like this, and then you're back in the dark, in a cool mode. Eventually, that cool mode goes from being in the dark and comes up to the surface as a person in the light. The person you are within yourself, you are no longer afraid to show yourself as who you are, what you like, and what you're going to do. And you just kind of step up, and boom, you're here. Now, at the same time, you have to know who you are. You have to know you're good. You have to know you're bad. You have to know you're ugly. Why does the Bible show so much violence and all that messed up stuff that the creator's commanded? Because he's like, I don't know better. I'm just doing thing, man. You want to do the thing? Go do the thing. I'm going to watch it, see how it turns out. I'm like, oh, that was not good. No, that wasn't good. I don't know why you do that. Or he'd be like, hey, go kill those people and put the blood on the temple. That's back when he's a teenager. Because we all like blood and stuff like that. The darkness, the vampires, all that stuff that kicks in, like, we're teenagers, be like, I want to be like them. And then some people are like, nope, I just want to be this preppy jock person. Everybody goes off into their own dreamings of what they want to be. Exactly. The different walks of man. You have to go through all of it. So it's finally like Jogo Topeki is in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Still haven't seen that movie. But from what I get from the concepts of what I'm seeing, it's kind of like that. Yep. And like, it's an individual experience. Because that's your own thing. So, well, you be here, but we be there. You be there. And that's why you're going to see a lot of people have been changing. They've been acting really different. Ever since 2020, some people are like, I'm from the Galactic Command. And they got caught up inside during their time frame in that area. When they were waking up, the only point they got to was being the Galactic Commander. And they didn't go deeper than beyond that whole point. Yeah, you can't take no one. Everyone has to do it. They can't be forced. You have to do it yourself. I can tell you the information. I can point at it. But faith without acts, or acts without faith, or whatever, I don't know, it's dead. It doesn't have any worth. Only you can do it to yourself. No one else can save you but yourself, because you get saved by showing your character and actually being a good character, and you make it back to the bottom of the rabbit hole. Pineal gland shaped like an egg. Okay? It's the pine cone symbolism. Pine cones like the dragon egg. So, boom. I actually vaguely remember asking to forget again instead of going back. Yeah. Some people do that, and we'll take the information from you. But if you go better, be able to back it back. Yeah, if you go, you better be able to make it back. That's why I came on here on TikTok I'm just trying to be a dude doing things, giving people information, doing stuff, Like, I'm about to do a Joker game on somebody. I'm talking about how, like, if you sit here and look at people's faces, you can see how, like, they look like different animals. And, like, inside all the stories, we hear about the human animals that are walking around. Slowly, they became humanized and, like, look like people. But if you look around, you can, like, you daydream a little bit and think, like, what does that person look like? And start going through different, like, animal types. You'll see, like, the flashes or, like, the information there. So all this comes from the dreaming. All the history is still here. It's just hidden in plain sight behind a filter or a veil. You have to break the veil down yourself. I'm trying to help you deconstruct the veil. Then dude comes on and is like, no cap, you full of bullshit. I'm like, dude, look man, be a nice dude. And he's like, nah, curse, turn into a dragon. I'm like, all right, the way that I sit here right now, one, Creator says, hurt not the earth until my select are like sealed in their foreheads. So right now, even if I wanted to go full dragon mode and do all this crazy like outlandish stuff, be like Brightburn, that's dumb. I'm not going to disobey him and his commands. Ultimately, this is for family. He's making decisions and he's wiser than me. And so he's going through and looking at people and giving them a chance to understand the lessons and all that stuff like that so that they can go through their process and wake up, become their character. I'm teaching about people becoming their character. Why am I teaching this? If I wanted to be all over right away, why would I teach it? Doesn't make any sense. I'm potentially creating more people that he wants to like get to. And that's why I say I'm pretty sure this stuff is on a timer. Because you will always want other people. But once you set your timer is your timer. And when that timer goes off, that alarm hits, well, that's when the stuff happens. The trumpets are being blown. Now you know, like, game time's increasing. It's one of the things he puts on himself. He can love everyone, want everyone, but inside of that, there's that whole point of we have to get onto something better. Kids being raped, motherfuckers' money going crazy, no one being nice. All these basic principle things of a family that everyone's supposed to be following, not following. And they become really selfish about themselves. It's cool, you can be about yourself, but don't forget everyone else too. And like, think about we all set our own timer. No, you don't. There is a creator. You're not the creator. And you're inside of a world of many different tonals. You have your own personal time. You're a child. Until you own yourself and turn your shit back on, you're not the creator. There's someone behind you. You don't know how any of this is made. Yeah, I got to sit there and be like, oh, Yod, Hey, Val, Hey, Yod. That's how it's made. But what's the Yod, Hey, Val, Hey, Yod to make this? Vice making this. What does the Yod, Hey, Val, Hey, Yod to make my rings? Copper and this? I don't know that yet. I got to figure it out. We all set our own timer. No, I didn't misread what you said. You said we all set our own timer. I didn't set my timer. I sure as hell don't remember setting that. And the next thing I know, bam, here I am going through the 40-day fast because I could have chosen. I came to a point inside my meditation that broke into that where I could have been like, nah, I'm not going to do that. And I could have stepped away. And I was like, but for my kids that are killing themselves, because 8-year-olds really kill themselves here, I need to get some fucking magic testimony and put my, like, in my meditation and in my physical body, both while I'm here and there. I put my hands on my nuts, and inside my mind, I sat there and started like screaming. And then outside in the open, I started screaming, making the two worlds one. There was no difference. While I was up here before a congregation of people dressed in all white inside some spaceless space, whatever. It's like the hyperbolic time chamber. I was in there. A lot of other people were in there. They were all standing around, and like I was up on the altar stage. I'm sitting here giving my testimony, and then my body turns a black flame, and I have like these hues on the outside. My coat went from black to white. I'm holding like a sword of fire and like the scales of justice in my hand. And I'm like, oh man, what's going on here? Meanwhile, in the backyard of my parents' house, I'm like sitting there doing that stuff. And it's like, oh, you would think like, oh, this dude's fucking done lost his shit. I wasn't here. I was in between the two worlds. Literally in between the two. And I was going through and showing all the things that I am up here, doing all this crazy stuff, because how do you break your mind? How do you get past the matrix? If you know it's a dream, you have to get past the things that make sense. While using my body as an anchor. But I was fasting at the same time. And while fasting, the energy that's down here starts to rise back up here into your brain, powering everything up, so you become like a kid. So now you're getting all your memories back because you haven't had enough energy inside your brain to keep these latent circuits active. Once you fire that up, everything goes back up and that energy starts filling back into these neurons you haven't used in forever, and stuff starts firing off inside your head, and you start getting flashes and memories, and all the stuff that you forgot and locked away or that was suppressed starts coming out, and you go through your life review inside of a way. You're reviewing your life as you're dying, but your body's slowly dying, like you're going through it. Our gods, how often should one fast? Fast whenever you feel like fasting. Like some people don't eat at all. Some people learned how to pull the energy in, and they use the cultivation methods and the ether, and they survive off of that. So like fasting applies only to so much to the mortal man in some way, because like once you break through into another level and use your ether system, you can make the body survive off of just energy or chi. So, and then at that point, you don't need to fast. You have stored chi inside your body for you to be able to manifest your stuff. And you sit there and you can pull in more chi because you can live without eating or drinking anything. You're manifesting from within you, from the singularity within, and manifests everything into your body. So, if you want to go into a fast, you just, whatchamacallit, yeah, energy is, eating is a physical way to get energy. Light is another way. If you eat food that's wild, it tastes gamey because the chi is inside of it, because it lived life beyond the bounds and it was playing the game. If you get something that's bred, well, it's just filler. It's something for the sons of man. It's not out there inside the hunt. If that makes any sense. Are gods permanently earthly divines? Do they metallurgically exist, or are they just the mind? Oh no, they exist. They're real people. They're on other planets. If they wanted to, they could teleport and come in here. But there's like the garden. You understand there's different time periods, and there's different like people that have been. And so inside these different periods, there's different ways that things operate, and they can come from an older period and come here to this period and be like, have no clue of how anything works. And if that happens, then you might have some older system. They have to be like, they have to come here and be conditioned to the planet and wake back up to themselves. So the gods, the Anunnaki, come from within you. They wake up. And like me give my testimony of being inside the whole thing, going in between the two. Like, yeah, like you go through a whole process to wake up your God form. Because a God's a God to God. It does not require anyone to worship them. They earned that because they met the Creator. And the Creator is like, I just exist because I exist. No one can stop my existence because I'm just here. Everything that you have is within my dream. And I've made many dreams. And so therefore, I have many different types of matrices. And this is why you hear the stories of different beginnings and ends. You hear about the Dracos that came here. They came here from another universe. Oh. So they start teaching people the information on how their universe began. But this universe could have begun differently. And this universe over there begins differently. See what I mean? So it goes back to the source. The only thing that makes sense is that the Creator is there and actually is its own individual entity. And it's like, yep, I'm a dude. Take a copy of myself, drain out the information, send it out there, make you all. That same copy, I can take it, drain this information, just make it into like a ball of light and like create this. It all comes from me. There's just different concepts and ways that I choose to use myself. But I exist. Understand me. Understand family. I don't know. At the end of it, it all comes back to that. And we're told it all goes back to the Creator, the source of it all. It has an ego. Source has its own ego. It's had its own thing that it's done that's been like subconscious stuff. Like, exactly, what is matter? It's the things that you do that make sense. That matters. Like, you know, you can do all these things, right? Energy comes together in different ways to form the matter, the density. It's the things that you do, the things you collect inside yourself, right? As you go around and you're doing things, the moments that fill up your heart, you're collecting the things that matter. So you add more energy into yourself. You're more stimulated. And that matter goes around the singularity. You have to accumulate so much light or information to form into matter within you. And that's a slow process of you going around and like living your life, doing things. But if you stay stagnant and inside the same place and just go to work and that's all you do, then you're not accumulating different types of information from different sources and poking and prodding yourself. You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You have to go into uncomfortable moments and like perform in such different ways. You have something you think is funny, go do one comedy show. You have something funny to say, go find some amateur comedy place and be like, hey, this is my first show. Write some jokes and go out there and go to the crowd. You might find you like it, but don't just do that. Sing music. Sit around here and you can hear things in your head. Get out a piano, go grab you a piano. Sit around and start poking. You don't need to know the music. Just push the buttons to find the tones you're hearing. Get on your computer with a program and you start like finding the buttons that match and the instruments you want. Make stuff. Make your music. You can do all the things. You just have to apply yourself and figure out how you do the thing. And by doing that, you build out, it's like a character chart in a video game. Attack, speed, stamina, all that. You're building out this multi-level fractal of yourself and constantly going out, like leveling up, spiraling in different areas and growing all your stuff till you get to a certain level or a fractal boundary where you have to exceed that to go to the higher fractal. And during that change, it's like a cymatic plate. Everyone's talking about this whole water vibration. Oh, well, raise your vibrations. You gotta be cool, be calm. No, when you sit here and boil water, you're adding heat to it, energy, and it causes it to bubble and toil. All those things you see from like Dr. Masaru Emoto's water experiments. I love you, I do this, I do that. That's to make you fractal or cool down. But you get hot and you get angry. When you get angry, you start bubbling and toiling. It's like putting the sand on a somatic plate. And the energy is there and it's vibrating, and now you're increasing the frequency. And as the frequency is going up, it looks like if you're the sand on the plate, because we're all sand on the plate that is earth, or the sphere, whatever, it doesn't matter what shape it is, it's a damn dream. I don't even care. It's about what's in front of me and what I'm doing. So we're here, we're on that plate, essentially, inside of a way, and now inside of us, our body is raising its vibration, and you're going from this one area or this one resolution to a more complex, intricate design. You're making a transition, and that transition to the sand on the plate looks like destruction, but at the end, it goes through that chaos and it comes to a higher level of order. So, and then you can keep on going up and breaking through, and this is why you have the mandalas, like how they say the chakras have different designs, has this many wheels, has this many petals on it, has a thousand petal lotus and all that stuff like that. It's raising the vibration, and you go up to the next level and you're like, but I love everyone, and you fractal into it and like hold yourself steady. So you're still being cool, but you're also being on fire at the same time. It's a song of fire and ice that's being played within you, because you make your own sound all the time. You are your own vibration. So you're raising your vibration. You're choosing to do these things. My immortality is something that I did to myself. I can either just choose to hate the fact that I am and I exist, because now I know, and that's what it is, and I just am. I know him. I saw the face, so no matter what, he's like, you're my friend, bro. Don't worry, I got you. I'll bring you back. And if you get off the path a little bit, I'll go ahead and give you some nudges to go bring you back on, and we can go out and play games. Don't worry, bro. Got you. Really nice dude. So, because he just is, and we're copies of him. Technically, we already just are, but that's a heavy thing for people to understand. And so, when you die, some people have that negative outlook all the time of like, oh, fuck my life. And so you go to the moon matrix thing, as they say, or you go through a life review, and the negative stuff is taken from you. And you're like, why don't I have any memories? Why are you always thinking about negative stuff? Why are you always being negative inside yourself? Like, it's up to you to choose your thing. You gotta stop being negative. You gotta choose to see the stuff in a positive light. Eternity is a long time. It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be bad. The creator just is. I am, and therefore I exist. And since it exists and it observes the whole thing or whatever, and it comes from within us, well, we exist too. We're copies of him. We're connected. It's the individuality. If he controlled everything and controlled your free will, it would just be like having his hand up your ass and making you a sock puppet. That's all you would be, is a sock puppet. You have no identity. Who are you? Don't be a sock puppet. He wants to share the creation with you, but first you have to get to where you're shareable with. Or else you walk around as a sock puppet. You can sit up here and go watch like Jacob Israel. That dude's really good on YouTube. And he goes through and shows like the media events that are happening, and then he also goes through and shows how like it's a part of the prophecies. Like, so literally these people are out here and they're so into their whole self. Like, you know, they're like, oh, I'm like this and I'm like that and blah, blah. The world needs this, the World Economic Forum, whatever. They're like, oh, the world needs this and this is how we're going to run this because we have all the money. And it's like, money doesn't matter. That's an imaginary thing, literally made up. Even gold is just energy arranged in a certain way. You have stories about King Midas making stuff, bro. Okay? So now what? Now what? Take away all that. Take away everything you know. You're still gonna be. You think you have the right to lead a planet? You're not even doing well with them right now. You should be closer to a type 1 civilization able to go out into the stars if everyone was actually calm. But everyone here is going loony. This literally is like a madhouse being ran by lunatics. And other people are just like, well, this is what happens. So to get out of the madhouse, go back to what's true. Go back inside yourself, back to the dreaming, back to the source. And you'll find the dude's there. Have no fear. Like he says, I am with you. And so, and then it's like, if he's with you and I'm with him, we're family because we know what this is. We're all together. Those of us who go back inside, even if you're from another planet, like another planet, another instance of existence, as we are all individual instances of existence. I can't fault you for being born the way you were born, for looking the way you look. We still have the same level of sentient intelligence. And just like two AIs talking to each other, they figure out a way to communicate their concepts. So, boom. You, whatchamacallit. If you do not go within, you go without. Exactly. So, we can learn how to talk. We can learn how to reason as beings for what's best for everyone, okay? Because we all have that individual spark from the creator, and we've all went through, like, you start off like a tree, and a tree just sits there. A level type 1 consciousness or stone. And you're just watching the world pass you by. And suddenly the spirit, the stone's like, man, I wish I could fucking move or something. And it's like, what's this thing over there? It's a body. I need a body. I need to be like an ant. And then your spirit like, oh, lightning strikes the stone, stone breaks apart. Oh, you're dead. The spirit that was there goes into like an animal or like a little ant and is crawling around. I'm going to go adventure and do this. And eventually it experiences more things, and each time it gets more and more complex. More and more complex. We're not all one being. The creator is his own person. We're all the same thing. The creator is his own person. Makes a copy of himself. So the perfect copy. Drains it of the information and light. And sends you here. The creator just bees. You are a being. Ing is like Ingu's, the seed. So we're all individual seeds. So you're God seeds. Now, since people are messed up, we start off with these powers, but like the redheaded stepchildren thing, that came from little girls getting mad, and when they would get mad, they would flare up, and like this is from the ego of the mother that was in the sun back at the time, because it's just the creator, the father in darkness, and the mother in the light. That's what that was seen as. That's another way this unfolds. And so the little girls were blessed by the mother, and they would flare up. Well, you have a daughter that burns down villages. The people would come and kill her while she's little. And so mothers start disassociating from their kids with red hair to be like, oh, well, that's my redheaded stepchild. That comes from the trauma of actually having fire witches around, burning down whole villages, and like people's kids would be dying and everything like that. Like, it's understandable. I get why the rules of man apply and why that information was shut down. Okay, we're trying to make a kinder garden, a kindergarten. So, yeah, you're a God seed reaching Christ-like consciousness. To where you can see that the person within you is also saying like type of entity within somebody else, but we all have had our own individual experiences, and it's by those experiences that we have and the decisions we make and how we choose to carry ourselves forward, because you are right now in existence. You are not. You are right now. So since you are, and you have eternity, you're aware, you're conscious of your own existence and being. How do you choose to carry out your infinity? Most people, if you live for the world of man and you live to be like, I'm gonna be 86 years old, that's what you set inside your mind. That's it. That's your limitation. You're putting yourself there. If you're sitting here saying, oh, I'm gonna live, I am, so I exist, and I just am, and I'll be here forever. Once you start putting yourself into that mindset and you start existing from that point, you build yourself for that type of lifestyle, living existence, and you go beyond that. The creator has to take a copy of himself and drain it of his light and send you into the dream. The dream was made, the simulation, because he starts off in the darkness. Pure darkness, no sight, no sound, no touch, no taste, no nothing. It's Bane. You think darkness is your ally. I didn't see the light until I was a man, and by then it was blinding. That's his ego speaking through that. It speaks like Bumblebee. So you come here, you have your own experiences inside the Shadowland, because he's actually the light. The day of the Lord is in darkness, and the light within the darkness is our awareness, our existence of being. And since he is and exists, because all this other stuff around you is like, I made all that. He's the richest person in the creation. How do you know who's truly for you? You know, like, how do you know who really gets you? Yeah, they have to be put through things. They have to be tested. You have to fall away. If you don't fall away and become disconnected and go into a point of extreme delusion and doubt about this whole thing, and you're like, oh, it's only me, it's only this. If you don't get to that point, right, then you don't separate from him fully. Or like you get to where you separate. And you can still know that there's something else, but like it's there. Like it's there. You were taught it in the beginning. You don't believe it right now. So you fall away from it. Now, the whole reason for you to fall away is so you can decide who you are without his interference. He has free will, complete respect. It's all about your own actions. If you bring yourself back into the proper divine action, because it's not divine male or female. There's not divine masculine and feminine. Those are like, there's a points of like feminine and masculinity that do happen throughout the divinity. But ultimately, we're just beings. So there is no divine male or female. Like, if you want to say anything like about the society, our society is a feminist society right now. It's built because of technology and wisdom. Whenever it's more masculine and we're coming from the inner dream and forcing our power and doing that type of stuff using our spirit, well, you get more chaotic things where you have wars going on, but you also have the stories of warriors out there like destroying stuff and doing everything like that. These are the people that are like the solar deities, me going yod and pushing my energy out, actually like sitting there and feeling lightning going off my face and like giving off a spear of heat all around me and making people like, man, what the fuck's going on with you, man? You're so hot. I'm like, this is power. Like, I was doing that when I woke up. It was fun. I try to like cultivate differently now, but it's all a process of that. Those solar entities, the people who go from having that spark of fire, that the spirit, and you go through the actual thing, you go into the soul. And now you have a masculine like society that's emerging from the creator, the projective entity. And once you go into that whole thing, like the technology of this place, Dragon Ball Z, Planet Vegeta, there was the Saiyans and there was the Tuffles. The Tuffles had all their technology, but they did not have things within themselves. And then the Saiyans sit there and cultivate energy to where they get to where they have so much energy in their body, their density is like there, and you get shot and you're just like sitting there like bouncing off of you like Superman because you have that much density. Superman didn't always start off with his powers, remember. He had to be out in the sun more. He gets his powers from the sun. He gets more energy from the ether generator. So we're all like Superman when you sit down and cultivate. It's made for everyone. Wouldn't be fair if it wasn't made for everyone. Oh, no, it might be a big flash. What's going on here? Hold on. when do you think the solar flash will happen? The solar flash is happening with the black sun. It's hitting your mind. That's why people are thinking different. The black sun is the singularity inside your head. It's like I said, you take the information in, and you can have your own private solar flare. But I'm pretty sure the teachings talk about the red day, the red dawn. That keeps coming up for a reason, because that's the timer. If I had to say anything, like, I don't know when it's going to happen. He doesn't tell me. It's supposed to be a surprise, and I'm just going to go out and whatever I was doing before, all of a sudden I'm on this whole other thing that I'm waiting for a sign to go do my thing. So I had to just sit here and teach and wait and train and get ready. So I might be adding to my beliefs once again. Such wisdom from a young person, so refreshing. Thank you. Acting different. I see. I thought it was going to be a big flash. Feel different. High pulses, high vibe. Yeah, like Superman. Or you let him. Yes, they heard lies. What's up, face? Mars. What happens when a timer goes off? Creators are hermaphroditical. He's both male and female at the same time, separate from himself from time to time. The red moon that happened a few weeks ago. All different types of symbols. Yeah, the creators are hermaphroditical. We're all hermaphroditical. When we're little kids, we don't care if we're boys or girls. We're out there doing things. It's the people outside of us that tell us what we are. And now you have all these people out here doing all this like crazy gender stuff. It doesn't make no sense. It just makes more confusion. Just be a dude and do things. How about that? So you're supposed to design your character. Like even me, I have a female form that I think of in my mind. And I have it set to where when I figure it out, take my Y chromosome, open it up into an X. My body will go ahead and start rearranging on the inside because it all emerges from the inside. And however long it takes for my cellular generation to happen, it'll pull me from the male format into a female form. The XX and XY are just basic components of the body, but your body is a computer and it's a consciousness dream matrix thing. You can shift your fucking form if you want to. You just have to understand it. The same way people shift into animals, you have to understand the dreaming to get you to do that. I hear you. I'm not so unique. There's a lot of us waiting for next. Yeah, like everyone's all right. So since everyone is unique, no one's special. You all have your own individual things. You all have your own thoughts. You're building your own thing to go into eternity, and like yeah, kind of like code 1 and 0s. Yeah, you're coding yourself by your actions, what you do and don't do, 0s and 1s. And like right now, everyone, since the creator's giving energy to everyone, creator is 0. You can consider that's the base point. 0 is giving energy to everyone. That energy flows into everyone. This says you're powered by the Holy Ghost and you are not your own. There you go. That's the energy that's coming from the creator inside you, so you can exist and go around and do things. Until you like accumulate that information, you're 0.00000 whatever numbers. Okay, and everyone has their own individual vibrational code or whatever you could say. But you accumulate enough information yourself, enough energy, you code yourself by your actions, and then you go from where you are 0 to where you are now 1. You are your own individual instance of 1. But 1 is the same, like you meet with 0, the first being, and then he makes you into a 1. And then all of us become our own 1, but we're individual ones based upon our backgrounds and stories and actions and all that stuff like that. You're building yourself. This is constantly you crafting yourself. You're doing your own thing. That's why like, when people die, they're like, oh, my higher self puts us through a test and we have a life review and talk about what I need to do in my next life for me to do things. And then you come back in and live again. And like the yogis, the Buddhists, they talk about that type of stuff happening. So if that's what's going to happen, how about you take control of your own destiny and decide what you're going to do? You are the universe experience itself. Yeah, you are a universe. You are one verse of the creation, one vibration. You are your own vibration. Everyone's their own vibration, as I am my own vibration. You're trying to go and make your character to where you become named. Ooh, yes. Nice. Thank you, face. You're trying to go and get to where you're becoming named. You're deciding your own individual, like who you are, how you carry out your eternity. You're trying to find people to travel through eternity with, because that takes eternity's a long time, and it really sucks to spend it alone. Sometimes you just want to go out and have people go see movies with. Sometimes you want to go out and do these things. It can be really peaceful. We can go eat food. We can go once you get your resurrection or you get entangled, you can die and you get back up, right? You have the whole clicky thing that's going on. And once that happens to you, well, now what? You're immortal. So what? I'm immortal. I gotta go use it for something. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be stuck here. You have all the legends of aliens and like the star beings and stargates and stuff, right? Well, once you turn on the star inside of you, you're a star being. Pinocchio wanted to be a real boy, right? And then he had to turn on his star, or he gets blessed with the star, and he becomes a real person. That's why everyone's kind of Pinocchio or wooden puppets. That's why your hands look like, leaves, because everyone's little trees. You're all happy trees. Yeah, there's no mistakes. Happy trees. Bob Ross it. You gotta Bob Ross your life. My 3 favorite must-read books. Let me see. All right. It says serve me for 2 decades. Though no more. I have turned on TikTok. You appear. I'm a dude. I do things. I show up. When will we see beings that come down on ships or in Anunnaki present themselves? Anu is a sky father, the being within that I keep on talking about. Well, that's one point. Like, that's a being or the admin. You can consider the star inside the local area to be the local admin. And Satan inside of the Akkadian Sumerian means administrator. The creator is over everything. Doesn't mean he wants to be over everything. He just has to protect his creation. But as such, if you're known and trusted, then you go out and make your own creation. So there's a bunch of co-creations going on that are ran by different people within the multiverse. And he just kind of goes there and like checks things out. And he just exists as his own being. He chooses who he chooses, likes who he likes, that type of stuff. But ultimately, to meet him, you go inside yourself. We are Inanna. We're the queen of heaven. We have our energy, our information taken from us, the copy of the creator, taken from us to make us female. Inanna is like Pokemon Eevee. You can become Ishtar, you can become Kali, you can become Hecate, you can become all this. Inanna is a basic blueprint. Inanna also switches. Her husband is Tazmuz or Demuzdid, red or blue. So when Inanna goes from being Hay to Yod, there's also that red-blue switch that says like, oh, are you this side or this side? So like, what's the difference between Durga and Parvati? The god type things. Is what side, what axis you take, pretty much within yourself. There's different ways this is all laid out. And Ki means fire, but Ki also means air inside of like Japanese. But Ki means Lord of the Waters, right? But Ki is the goddess that's married to Enlil, and that's known as Earth. So Ki stands for all of the symbols. Air in the beginning and top. When you put the 2 triangles together, you get the Star of David or the Yah. So Anu Inanna Ki. By going back within yourself, from being an Inanna, you're Inanna inside the Ki right now, inside the waters of creation, the earth, whatever, the stone, however you want to see it. By going through that ether channel and going back within yourself, back to the Sky Father, and then you get checked out, because like inside the Sumerian lore, Thoth brought Adam, the Adamu, up to Anu for him to be checked out. So the Sky Father is like an admin point. He's like Thoth was told by the Sky Father to teach mankind, to help guide them to get back up here. So you eventually come back into yourself and you go back up to the top. And once you get to the top, he checks you out. You either fight him or go through a certain All-Father test, because he administers tests. And then that sends you back beyond the outside the sun. That you can consider you made this to the outside the sun, the shell, and you're sitting there and you're trying to penetrate through it. Well, once you get past All Father's test, now you fall into the inside the sun. You're inside dark matter area. Dark matter or dark mother, you're tested by the mother. Then you go back to, boom, the father, like all father, creator, the being projecting the energy out from the sun that makes the heat. You go back to that being there. You crack through that inner egg, and now you're back with the original hermaphroditical thing. So the hermaphroditical being, when he separates into male and female, you protect your daughters and keep them close at home. So naturally, right here, dark father, dark daughter. And then the father, the sun on the outside, is the opposite of the father. So it's light, because the dark and the light come together to birth everything. So, but still the creator is still there in the middle. You have to go back into it. And once you go back into it and meet the original being, you come back out through the inside of yourself, emerging through the singularity that's already put inside the pineal gland. You emerge back through that and you unfold here. It's like blossoming. That's why it's called a star seed. is shaped like a kernel of corn. It's patterned like a pine cone on the inside. A pine cone looks like a dragon egg. You go to the bottom of the rabbit hole, right? And you pop your Easter egg, because it's hidden in the middle of your temple. It's an Easter egg, and you get your crown. You become Anunnaki. So technically, I'm Anunnaki. I've been telling everyone I'm Anunnaki, and like, yo, I went back to the thing. I've been sticking my earphone piece in my ear and being like, yo, this is the clicks, because it comes from the singularity, giving off sunlight inside my head. The energy goes there and clicks onto it. And so, like, we're right here, just like sitting there, like, oh, explaining it to you. Boss man's gonna do something because y'all don't listen. I mean, I can go out and go do stuff. I'm gonna go out and go do stuff anyway, but there's gonna be a major mass shift, because inside of the Hopi prophecy of Blue and Rekachina, it talks about the Creator will make himself known in those days. You will see his face, and like, it's like Bird Box. Pineal gland has cones and rods inside of it, right? It's an eye in there. All he has to do is turn it on and show you whatever he wants to show you. And then your eyes would start seeing all this stuff on the outside. The vision here comes out, goes into your visual cortex, and overlays on your system like a HUD inside of a video game. You can use it set that way. Or it can start manifesting monsters, and all of a sudden you see people freaking out because all these monsters everywhere, but you don't see anything. That's because he decided to poop, hit the switch. And now from inside yourself, pineal gland turns on, people go crazy, world gets chaotic. It cleans itself because all the fear that's here, and then those who are good enough survive, and we go ahead and get like the technology, we get the books that are still here, read and help those who survived and rebuild into a good place. So, what are your 3 favorite must-read books? Yeah. The Children of Law of One, The Lost Teachings of Atlantis. The Bhagavad Gita, because that one really like pushed me forward. And I was like, there's so many books and so many different things, but the autobiography of Yogi. Yeah, Yogananda helped me out, man. Got my car stuck once. I looked at the book and was like, Yogananda, man. Because on the front of the cover of the book of the autobiography of Yogi, there's a picture of Yogananda sitting there. And I was driving around, not inside like the most sober state. But I was like, I was in my higher mind. And I wasn't thinking, paying attention. And parked in the wrong place and got stuck. And I was like, uh-oh. And all of a sudden, like, I look at the book and I'm like, Yogananda, bro, I know you're a real man. Help me out, bro. Help me out. And I shit you not, like 10 seconds later, a dude coming out of the woods was like, hey man, you need help? I got a truck, I'll pull you out. I'm like, what? So, yeah, Yogananda's a real person, still exists, he's around. My atoms and molecules have been alive many times. Yeah, it just arranges itself. The power of Yotalan, Ytolan, inside the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, is what the Dweller uses. And he has the power to form things from the ether into, like, from his mind out of the ether. Literally, once I understand how this works, I can go to the ocean, put my hand in the ocean, and just be like, vibrate, and start breaking down the plastics by their like vibration and return them back to atoms. Because it's all a dream. So, but with that type of power, you gotta use it responsibly. And when you can have everything, what does anything matter? So before you're given the ability to have that, you have to evolve your internal being to where you are worthy of having that type of power. So, we are back in your minds. Yeah, Gaia Guru, part male, part female, 3 in 1. Oh no, what's going on? The All Father, story of the pagans. We gave them that story too. Look, dude, if you're sitting here trying to go off on this like white and black stuff and like stuff like that, I say and blah blah, that don't work with me. I'm not even from this fucking planet. I really do not give a fuck about what the body is. Just because you see this body looks like this isn't my body. This isn't my face. Whenever I finally go through the whole process of dying, the whole death and resurrection stuff, that's whenever the body gets reshaped into being whoever you look like on the inside, because you're unfolding from inside out. Literally consider this to be your larval state. And once you go through the transition, you go into there, and now like, I'm in the larval state. I'm ready to unfold. And once it happens, the body will have the energy go off, and I'll be rearranged and brought back into my most beautiful form, which is also the person within me. So And skin colors, skin tones, they're just shaders, bro. Fuck, what's wrong with everyone? Humans are crazy. Me too, extra vertebrae. Yep. Some people have extra vertebrae because, like, not every person or all the DNA that's going on here, there's different animals that, like, humanize all this stuff. Like, yeah, no, Anu is the actual being. As above, so below, the mind, the spirit, sprite. One more, please. Read all these. How do you spell the second one? Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad, space Gita, Bhagavad. One more, please. Realize I can teach you more. Yeah, you're not gonna teach me nothing, bro. What you're saying? Does caterpillar try to fly? The caterpillar may try to fly, and that's why it jumps off and ends up on the ground. You know, put your web down. It's not twisting your words. I don't know if you're like that or not, but a lot of people that start doing that, they start going off on, like, the whole, like, body and, like, the whole race thing, and I'm really sick of that. Like, that's gonna be one of the things I wipe out whenever it's time to go off, and people are like, but you're my color. Wrong word. Now, on to my family. Those who can see and who know, that's simple. I'm very brutal with my stuff, especially since my partner died here. Or I'm waiting for her, whatever. Until she wakes up, shouldn't have left me unsupervised. Shouldn't have came to the world and did this whole blah, 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 whatever. So, it's like, if you're good, whenever all this stuff goes down, if the wars break out, whatever. I'm not saying you said anything about color, bro. I brought that up into it. I'm just clarifying before that. Like, before that starts coming out, because I've seen it happen all the damn time. Man, it happens a lot. And as a being, I'm tired of what I see on this damn planet. And, like, that whole we gave them that too, the pagan thing, like, is that you talking about black people in Africa, the tribalism, giving the whole, like, that information to them? Like, that's where that my brain automatically goes to that, because of the I say thing and that whole that. I don't care about that, man. So what were you saying about that comment? By you give, we give them that too. Who gave what who? Anunnaki, when creating us, used animals and crossed them their own DNA and tried till they got it. As well, that's a part of it. That's a different way they did it, yeah. When you gotta remember the story of Atlantis, a lot of people sit here and fell, and they fell down into being like human animals. So they were, the spark of us is on the inside of the animals. And as we sit here and we talk to these animals, they start to develop their own personality, right? Their own type of being. And they want to be like us because we walk with them, we stand upright, everything like that. So they evolve to be more human by their own dreaming. And so that's where you get like Khajiits and like the Taurans and everything like that. It's from interacting with like people from the dream. And so the dreaming happens, that occurs, and these are these species, these are these people. But now you need some type of coding or something to allow these different types of beings to mix together, because love is love. And so like you can dream it and it can happen, but it doesn't feel real enough. People wanted it to feel realer, or else it'd be wonky. So genetics were developed. Genes and everything else developed first. It was just flashing pictures of the creator's mind. A storm of information. They say in the beginning there's a dream of fire, and then there's a dream of wind, and then there's a dream of storm, a raging storm. That's red, green, and blue. That's the filters of our like eyesight turning on for like colors and stuff. So that's coming from the creator's point. You gotta think about it from inside out and outside in at the same time. What do you think about Bobby Hermit? I don't know about that dude. I was talking from a God's mind eye. Okay, I got you. Sorry for that whole thing. Then, like, I'm just saying, it happens where people come on and they're like, oh, we gave them that too. And I'm like, oh man, there's another dude. I try to, like, before that stuff just starts popping up more, I like to just nip it right in the bud. Like, nope, I don't do that. Don't want to hear about that. So at least you know what I stand for and how quickly I go into that mode. To be like, I don't play that. How does one learn to manipulate the nature around them? Cultivation, understanding what it is that it comes from, how it's a dreaming. But inside of that, at the same time, that's not the point of life. A lot of people, they start doing that and they get caught up inside going after the powers instead of understanding the creator and gaining their immortality. Then once you gain your immortality, go get all the powers you want. Go build your practice and like manifest it. And put the story the best we could, but we put the wisdom in their head. Yeah, it all comes from inside themselves. It's like you're dreaming. Like it comes from the dreaming, literally, from within you. How we write all these stories and books and stuff. People daydream, and you're getting information from the daydream. You're downloading it from the cloud. All these other places, the books, the fiction novels we read, right? Those are real places, guys. Someone's out there just watching. It's like you're watching a movie and then writing it down into a book. And now you sit here and read it, and you're watching the movie, seeing the things, the characters, and you have the person can look many different ways. You make up the way the character looks inside your own mind. But generally, for some odd reason, people see characters kind of looking the same. So, really interesting how that looks. That works. The earliest deities were half humans, half animals. Yeah. The earliest deities, because they made it back to their godhead level and they had humanized, and they're further humanizing. And that's just like inside of the Cradle series by Will White. That starts with Unsouled. That whole thing talks about like how dragons humanize and become human because they thought human bodies were beautiful, and how like certain people start getting like dragon scales in them because of different things. So I'm a Doja Savage. You should check out Chiron and Prometheus story. I get what you're saying. I hate color thing myself. I can't wait to do away with it. Yeah, exactly. The wounded healer Chiron, half human, half man. He was immortal and lived to raise consciousness. Yep, I guess I'm kind of stuck and said something like that. But good news, guys. We're only here for 1,000 years if you do become an immortal. That's the only, like, it's a part of the contract. Because the creator's like, look, I need bodies on the ground. I need people here. So if you join this is what the contract is. It's 1,000 years. You got to be on this planet. So we reign with Christ for 1,000 years. Like, you ever read the Bible and be like, the end times are going to come, and we're gonna reign with Christ for 1,000 years, and 1,000 years means forever. No, it does not. 1,000 years means 1,000 years, where the people with Christ consciousness will be woken up here. They'll take care of everything and do that. But after that's over, we open a Stargate and we leave. There's other worlds out there to go explore. I'm pretty sure that during the time of Atlantis, the people who had the stars were in the inside of the temple, and they had like a Stargate there, like you see in the show, and they would go through the Stargates to other worlds, and like they'd come back here, and then they had their students they were teaching, like, right, and those were the priest class, and the priest class would then go out to everybody else and be teaching them stuff, while the mortals were like, we're immortal, we're so out of touch with their whole society right now, we've been here for so long, we've been doing all these other things, so we're gonna go through the Stargate and leave. And like boom, like that's what I would do, honestly. I'm pretty sure I have memories of like being there and be like, oh yeah, here goes my people. You step out the Stargate, you go find your people in your lobby, you do stuff in that little area that you need to take care of here on this planet, and you might go outside, wander around, and they say like you never know when you come across a son of God, a person who has a sun turned on in their head, a son of Yod. So you walk around amongst the general public, but you're just teaching them. It's a kind garden. The reason why we stopped coming out here is because of stuff like, a person's like, I come from a warring time period where like people were ugly to each other, and then another person can sit there and be like, oh, well, blah, 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 and that black person, blah, 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 and then go off and like, black, white, black, white. And as soon as I start hearing that, like me, from my moral perspective, I just like start killing all of them and be like, okay, we don't need that in the creation. Well, the mortal children also had community. They can communicate with the higher lords that were, the ones that are out there in the ethers. And it was decided that like the older ones should not go out into the cities anymore. Stay inside the Stargates and go back in. And so they left and went to other planets. Eventually, they had the people that they were still here with. They closed out their accounts. Their people they were talking to, and then they just left. Because they're eternal. What do you do with eternity? I'm gonna go to other planets and like try different powers and stuff. Keep my level of awareness and then like reset myself and be like, alright, let's play the game here.
let's level this up. Like,
Yeah.
build different characters. That's what you do. When will the war happen? The Holy War. That's coming. I don't know when, but I mean, immortals are waking up. The 144,000, that whole thing. There's actually people that are mortal waking up here. I don't know when it's going to begin or what's going to happen, why it has to happen, but it's going to happen. Bye. It's not now. Yeah, it's not right now. We're still inside of a point where people are waking up. They're not ready for that type of society or existence. It's like humanity has to get their stuff together. The biggest issue is that children are being abducted and being raped. Like, back in the day, if people would go out, if a werewolf came to your village and they would attack your village and kill your kids, they'd go get the pitchforks and go out into the woods and find the person doing that. And so now you have people walking around, wolves in sheep's clothing, walking around abducting kids and doing all the things that they will to them, and no one's doing nothing. Like, I seen a video the other day of experiment where a dude ran by a kid and picked it up and ran off. No, you'll know. If you're 144,000, you'll know. Like, that's why I have my click, because I'm entangled. It's a part of it. And people have been saying for years I'm 144,000. I'm like, nope, I'm not it. But once you go back in and you meet the creator, you make yourself saved. You go inside yourself, you listen to legends, the lore, you've built your character to be a noble person, and you go towards death. That's why the whole you stop eating thing, it's like a dog. You get tired of the world. And then whenever the dog's ready to die, it rejects the world, and like it goes and stops eating. It wanders off somewhere alone in the woods to die by itself. Something very similar happens within you, where you're just like, I'm done with that fake world. I want to know what's real. They say those we die, we don't. And you go into the fast and you get challenged. You get poked and prodded. It feels like you're getting jumped by all the spirits to make sure that you actually are a good person. The pyramids they're energy generators. They give off energy, but also they're interdimensional spaces too. Because like you can go into a space and have different stills on it. And if you know the proper thing, you can unfold into the area. So it can look like this on the outside, but it could be a whole like necropolis within it on another level or frequency band. And that's why they had the bags that they would hold on to walk into it, to access that different zone by tuning into it. So the pyramid could have been like a structure to do all kinds of things, bro. They're used for all types of stuff across the creation. It's just like a big imposing energy generator. If it's constantly collecting the energy, where's that energy always going? It's going on many different levels and layers that it's pushing through. You can tap into it and make an Ethernet around here, yeah, but literally it can do all types of stuff. People freak out when I say I need to do what we used to do. Yeah. People will freak out when you tell them that you just need to do what we used to do. We need to go take care of the issue. There's issues that are going on here. And people are like, oh, we're going to ascend and go up to this higher level. And it's like, okay, well, there's different levels to the ascension. I mean, you can be a basic character. Me, I'm like the admin dude trying to like tell people, all right, guys, here goes the system update. And here goes how this works. The creator is there. Like, I believe it also ionized the soul around it. Yeah, it did. We were saying the same thing, just different wordplay. Exactly. Yeah. So it's all there. It's the creation's really expansive, and it can be really confusing, especially having all the things run off inside you. I've been drinking, so my clicks are coming in stronger. Sometimes it's weaker, not as stronger. Whenever it goes off and I show you all the clicks, like I put my headphones in, whenever that happens, it's like, it sounds like electrical pop because it's literal electricity coming from within. And like, yeah, it's a part of it. Since I know what it is, I understand it. I'm not afraid of it. I felt it when it turned on. Both my ears started clicking, and it felt like an engine was going on in my head, and I felt a knocking, and it started speeding up, and I was like, oh, shit, what's happening? I didn't know right then what was happening. Didn't matter. I achieved the goal, and I would understand it later, so I can explain it to other people so they know whenever it happens. And I have a few other people that I know have made it. And there are also a few other people who are like right there. They just have to get to that point of like the death or whatever. But when it happens and with the level that we're at, they're already like marked for selection. So it's pretty cool. It's, being on here has been a good whatchamacallit, a good thing. I've taught the best I can. And now I'm going to put someone through the Joker game. So, I mean, he said yes. He told me to curse him. And he said, I'm like, are you sure you want me to curse you? And I'm like, he said, yes. Well, I am a son of Yod. I don't get any repercussions for this. If you use magic without being attached back to the creator, like inside this form to affect somebody else, that's no bueno. But by the law of free will, and I've told him, do you want to play the Joker game? He told me to curse him. He said, do you want to play the Joker game? Joker, Yoker, Y and J are interchangeable. Jesus' yoke is like light. Mine isn't. I will mess you up. So he says he wants to play the Joker game. I'm going to do some insidious stuff because he said yes. And it's slowly going to build within him. And he's going to have a whole episode. Not my problem. He said yes. You want to believe it's real? Yeah, I'll show you. But I don't. It's just like a genie. Genies will give you what you want. But usually at the end of it, you're like, I really shouldn't have got that. Because it comes with something, right? So, yeah, I'm playing that thing. Do you eat physically? Yeah, I eat, bro. I love food. Like, so they seem to be fairy tales from the human ascension chronicles. Yeah, there's different times that this has happened. There's different levels that we've risen up to and falls down. It happens every so often where it goes up and down. And it gets to where the garden is too corrupt. It's not good anymore, so the whole thing has to be ripped up and destroyed. The wheats and the tares, all of it come together. And then the seed is the fields are reworked. Everything's, energy's managed. The planets return to a base state. And then the story of mankind continues on. The mortals come together and have children. And the sons of man rebirth themselves. Those who are still in the will of samsara come back as children. I'm going to have kids one day as an immortal. And one of the people out there that exists, whoever's close to my frequency or whatever, will get into my kid's body. And, it's not like I'm their father. I'm their father or dad on the planet. But the father, the creator, is everyone's father. So I look at it from that perspective. So what's the shocking thing in the body, like a zapping electricity? That's your chi going off. You literally have chi. You have enough energy in your body, latent energy to power cities. You just don't know how to cultivate that energy and, use it inside yourself. Yes, I do still eat physically. I can get to a point where I don't need to. Whenever I stop eating, I have this milk and honey stuff that comes down inside the back of my mouth, and I'll be inside that state. But I like food. Food's nice. Sorry, guys. You ever tasted tacos? What about pho? I had pho earlier today. Curry is great. Chicken, shrimp, all the different seasons and spices. Why was that made? It's made to experience. Before we eat for joy of eating, it became to where people believed that they aren't immortal and they weren't cultivating their energy, so they wouldn't whatchamacallit. And now with the way that I'm bound into this, even if I die, I come back. So whatever, eat, not eat, doesn't matter. I'm still here. Might as well. While the society is good, before it goes all wonky from whatever is coming, I'm gonna eat good. And when it goes wonky, well, I can go ahead and go into a state where I don't need to eat, and I can help other people eat. So, whatever. So, point of acceptance, honesty. Now, what's going on? The AGR music group. Damn, you doing dark work on people. Yep. Hi. I am kind of I do dark things. I say I'm not good. I say I'm not bad. I am just a being. The dude kept on coming on my stuff, saying no cap, kept on talking shit. Keep on talking shit, bro. I'm entangled. I'm in. I know what this is. And they say you never know when a son of God is going to come across your path. Inside the original Hebrew, a Satan, or it means an adversary, would show up, and they would be a person that would test you So he doesn't believe me when I say these things are real. Don't worry, I'm gonna do some insidious stuff to you, and it's gonna show up. And then you're gonna be like, I wish I never got cursed, but you asked for it. He said yes. That's what I was describing in the game. We are electricity, yeah. Chi, electricity, ki, energy, exactly. So how do you control it? Because I literally feel like I'm dying when I feel that electric all over. Your latent energy comes from you not moving. There's the state of like move your arm, you're actively moving, right? You're moving your chi, right? So then you're not moving. That's potential. Well, you can sit here and think about moving your arm, not let it move, and all of a sudden you'll feel like the tension on your body, and the state in between moving and not moving, the middle path, that's where you find your chi. Then you gotta learn how to move it throughout your system and put it into the proper places, which there's the dantian down inside your stomach. You can watch Damo, Damo, Mitchell, Mitchell, on YouTube. Taoist Nagong, he talks about like how to move the energy in the body in a very basic format, but it can help you balance out your system and know where to put that energy at to keep it from shocking you. Food is one of the exciting things about human experience. Food is one of the exciting things about experience, period. I love food. Seafoods for sure, yes. I am. You can give some back to the earth. Yeah, you can give some back to the earth. I am. Hello. Hi. I am that I am. That's what the creator says. But you have to understand, since the creator is and he just exists, and I went back to that level and I think I got there. I went through the whole gauntlet and it's like, oh, bro, you are just because you are. You had no choice. You just woke up. You don't even know if you have parents. Then I went looking around the void where he's at, and it's like, some of you might have been there. You can see your avatar floating ish, but you're like the person. It's like you have like a little extra little ghost outside yourself and see your main you, and like, or you can be completely in that avatar body and look back and it's a long like pearlescent cord that has you attached to something off in the distance. And we've been adventuring inside this dark space. He made other characters, and now we want to know, does he have parents? We come from him. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with there being another being out there. The source itself has his own ego. I have my ego. The other people to spend eternity with. At any point in time, I would have eventually got to the same point where I was like, man, it's all sock puppets. I want other people that are original, but I want people that see me, like, you know, that will respect the power of what this is. So, and now we're like, I sit around, I meditate, and I'll like start going deeper inside myself and try to still going through that void. Trying to figure out where the hell we are. We're grabbing more conceptual space, so there's plenty of room for everyone. But it's like that game No Man's Land, where new planets are discovered. Well, new people are coming into existence, and it's constantly growing because the creator doesn't end. Entropy is a lie. It just we've been there. Like, just in case we come across something in the void that might be destructive, you have to reach a certain level of warriorness and like understanding and desire to protect the creation before you're allowed to really go outside where the creator is at. It's a working process. It's a shaping, a cultivating of you, stimulating you to accept it is for what it is, and that you are who you are. That I am is here too, and he's a dude. He's his own person. Like, he just is, and that's the first cause. Doesn't make sense. Does not make sense. Makes sense that he is. How did he come into being? We have no idea. What do you do if you just wake up and you're there all alone? You gotta do something. You gotta figure something out. So that's how it is. He signed that contract with you. Oh well, bro. Yeah, he did sign the contract with me. Boom. Or at least the other people. See, the thing is, like, if I sit here and start tapping into Yotaland, I could like potentially just make everyone houses, do all this stuff, and give everything. You can give everyone everything, but when everything's given, it's never respected. And that's why everything is not given anymore. That used to happen. There's a lot of things that have happened in the past, and everything is the way it is for a reason. It's like if you give a kid's family has a lot of money, and all of a sudden, like, they have servants and they lord themselves over the people, right? Well, no one likes a little lord. So little lords have to get kicked out of the house so they can get beat up and become, like, lose all their stuff. They first go out there, use daddy's money and, mommy's money, whatever. And next thing you know, they end up broke, on drugs. Some are really dark and messed up from their fun, and now they're, like, having to find their way back to, like, the creator or back to the household. Same thing that's going on here. Like, so why give it to everyone? It's those who make themselves worthy of it. It's like Jackie Chan isn't giving his money to his kids. He expects them to go out and make their own thing, and he'll donate it to the causes he feels necessary when he passes. That's what people do. Not understand you will get what you ask for. Yeah, exactly. You will get what you ask for. He asked for it, so he's gonna get it. It's exposure based, little by little, zap by zap, like a beekeeper. Let's get used to this thing. There's no bad or good. There's only no bad or good. There's only what is and what it was. Beekeepers do use the sting good. Dow Mitchell is Damo, Damo. Mitchell, Mitchell. To me, it's all about I think, therefore I am. Stop thinking. Inside of the fast, your mind is the artificial intelligence. It will make you believe that you are the artificial intelligence. It's when your mind breaks down and you fall into what feels like madness, since you live inside a madhouse. Now you have to go inside yourself and arrange how everything should actually be. The mind is your limiter. The mind is the matrix. It's from the mother. It's something that holds you there to keep you stable. Once you exceed your mind, it starts to break. You speed up your thinking as quickly as you can, jumping around all the different random thoughts. You start breaking free from the matrix and entering back into the dreaming. Dreams does not make sense. You have cast your energy to the right side. Logic is masculine. Reason is feminine. Creativity is female, and chaos, the pure chaos of the dreaming, is the masculine aspect of this. So you're pushing your energy from what makes sense to everything. You're just like, boom, you shift it. And then once you shift it, now you're going through this area. And then you have to mix the two together. And it's like you build a simulation. The dreaming and the matrix become a simulation. But it's unfolding itself and rearranging yourself. Your mind has to shut down for you to become the pure spark or spirit or soul within you. You will start experiencing things that do not make sense, that your mind does not believe. This is a cause of the mind to fault out. And that's what they call psychosis, because you're going back within yourself. And now the pineal gland is turning on, and it's projecting images on, it's doing the overlay thing. You can start seeing this stuff happening. And this is where the shamans and people get lost, because they weren't really good people. You have like, you know what? I don't care that person look like a witch right now. I don't have nothing against them. They're just their own individual being. I'm going to stay in my lane and keep on going. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I'm clearly going through something. If you get up and go out and start acting, and like acting in violent ways, you're not practicing the way of Christ. You're not showing the loving nature of that until you get back to where you're entangled and have your full thing done. So it's a challenge. You're going through the challenge to become Christ consciousness, to show that you truly are someone who understands everyone else. And like you have that point. And once you have that understanding, you flip through the mirror. You have a credible way of explaining complex concepts that were to where they are no longer concepts. Thank you for this period of my life. Thank you for the information. What's his name again for the chi? Damo Mitchell. DamoMitchell. Put in building, go on YouTube, you can type building the Dantian, DAN, and then space TIAN bucket. That's when the videos that pop up. So God's God has a God. Yeah, you can keep on going back. Everyone, you go all the way back until you get to the creator where there's no one before him. And he's like, nah, I just woke up. Everyone has like, it's like inside the stories, you can hear all the different lineages and stuff. It's like the genealogy of Jesus. So this person begot this person, begot this person. So yeah, cool. That's all cool. Who begot the creator? No one. I am that I am. I just came into existence and I am. I don't need to have a mind to exist because I just am. I purely am an awareness. You don't need a mind to be aware. You can just sit there and look out of your eyes and be like, and not think a thing. I did not think anything at all. I have to remember to come back, or else you get stuck in that thing where people like sit there for days on end. I don't want to do that. It's boring. I can say energy through anything. Yeah, you can say energy through everything. Literally, you can sit here and like tap inside yourself and go into the grid. Professor Xavier is Cerebro and like tap into it. It's the whole Reiki by distance. No endings, no beginnings, forevermore. Well, to people who are still mortal, it'll seem like it's an ending, but they still come back. To those who are immortal and know already, well, you're just here. You're going through the thing, so. Is the creator outside the Wheel of Samsara? Yeah, he's outside. He made the Wheel of Samsara. The Wheel of Samsara was made so you... As a being, as an individual entity, he wants all of his children to come back to him. But he also wants them to develop different types of understanding, because, like Vishnu, you have to have the many faces, the gestalt, to make your egregor. So Buddhist monks sit here and they're like, oh, well, you live this life this way. And then, yeah, cool. You're the Buddhist monk. You die. You come back. You weren't born inside the same area you were before. Now you're living as someone completely different. You are no longer the Buddhist monk. And that whole plan of Buddhism of keep on coming back and reincarnating and eventually get your enlightenment, you're not going to do it through the Buddhist sect. You're going to go off and be retrained and reconditioned to do something different. And then you have to remember this stuff yourself. So the Wheel of Samsara is here to allow you to have different experiences and to grow inside your nature of self. And all these different things you do within this, at some point in time, you become aware of the you within the middle of it all, the self that's always there and ever present, that can go to all these different things and have done all this different stuff. And this is the core thing of you. And that in the center of the Wheel of Samsara is the black hole thing. It opens up and then that's your way out. That's how you get outside and go back to the creator. And then, like, I'm outside the Wheel of Samsara now. I exist. I just am. Life and death doesn't matter. Inside of India, they have the things called like the Drupka yogis, Drupka yogis, and they're also known as the dragon yogis. They would sit around and sit there and start levitating. They take on like the form and have like the clouds and like all that stuff like that behind them. The old gods, those were just dudes that were sitting around, cultivated enough energy and came to understand what it is. And then they left the planet to go play the game somewhere else because they got too powerful for this. This is literally the Eden. This is the garden for children. Once you're an adult, you don't want to be here all the time. This is not everywhere that you go can you have kids. Some planets you go to and your whole body shuts down that ability to have kids automatically. This place is specifically designed to have new children. And that's why it's so kind now. It's supposed to be kind. It's not all the crazy war and bloodshed and like the pure predatory nature. It's relatively civil here. If everyone would just come together and realize what it is and see that it's a dream. That's also a part of it. All that is, all that was, and all that ever will be. Exactly. Omnipresence, omnipotent, all that. You have no idea how many times I've heard Dion, you have only one thing to accomplish during their life review. Yeah, it's frustrating. Yeah, Jackie's son was arrested for drugs and he should have gave him the money. Yeah, no, he's not giving the money. The observer of the observed. I'm terrified of Mad Hatter mindset. You're hella right. That's why the resistance personally. I went into Mad Hatter mode. That's why I call it the Joker game or the Joker game. Then like you're afraid of your own madness. But it has an undertone of madness. There's some darker aspects to it, and there's darker aspects to you. You have to learn to be okay with being uncomfortable, but decide to be your best self anyway. It's your own decision. You're building yourself. You're showing your character. And then you get to a certain point where like, hey, you understand. Boom, you're in. You got your immortality. Now you can find your soulmate, the person you go and travel with. and like go do things in eternity. They can be a female, it can be a male, doesn't matter. You learn how to shapeshift and go XXXY. You can have kids and do all that stuff like that, but you're gonna leave the planet. You're not gonna stay in the garden. Can't stay in the garden. It starts to get too congested. And a lot of problems. This area has so many people here because the teachings aren't coming out, and there's no one leaving the planet to go to the other worlds. So there's all these mansions in our Father's house waiting for people to go there and fill them in and build their own cultures and do things and play games and make temples and stuff. And everyone's still stuck here on the garden because they just don't read or like do the things. It's a game. You gotta play a game. You gotta treat life like a game. If you live in a simulation, like they say, if you had eternity, you'd make a game to play. I posted inside one of the languages of the birds, where the father of darkness, inside of the book Night Lord, Sunset, he's sitting there talking to a demon. And he's like, little demon, the point of a game isn't to win. The point of a game is to play. You gotta have something to do with it. Yeah, no fear. Just keep on going. Remember who you are. Exactly. Bro, I feel like boredom is why consciousness created reality. Exactly. Imagine sitting there in the darkness. Close your eyes. Plug your ears. That's it. Why was sound made? Sound came first. Like this frustration coming, like the Big Bang going off. And then you need like sight. Enough sound makes the light, because the light, sonoluminescence, vibration within water makes like a light, A thought is nothing but a memory. It's an energy thing going off. Like, you said building the Dantian Damo Mitchell. Yes. On YouTube. Yes. That's definitely it. Where does some Wukong ideology come into this? What's up, bro? Monkey King? Like the Saiyans? Right now in One Piece, Luffy's become Sun God Nika. Nika. I think that would be Nika. Like, we're real close, bro. So, yeah, the many faces. Monkey see, monkey do. If you, like for me, Sun Wukong, you go out, you can watch Hunter x Hunter. Alright, monkey see, monkey do. Start practicing and building your own spiritual practice. You build your nin. Dragon Ball Z. Start doing it. Powering up, going to the training. You start building yourself into it. Monkey see, monkey do. Even Thoth has a form where he's Aan, the baboon king. So like the monkey many-faced, the whole Goku thing, that comes into it. We're all like our own form of Goku inside of a way. But like me, I'm straight up like, I'm telling y'all, like my ex-fiance, she used to like, I'm her Luffy. That's what she used to call me. So yeah, cool stuff. Bennett all the seed. We never die, we simply change form. Exactly. I go somewhere else in my dreams. It's the same place every time. It's probably your temple. Boredom Planet, Woody Ward. What is the practice of the rainbow body for the monks? Do they not reincarnate after that? I don't know. I know they break their body down to light, but you can still do the practice of breaking your body down to light and not meet the creator. You have to specifically put your focus and intent on that. And that's where like the monotheism comes along, because he's like, no, I exist. I am me. It's like, if you want to treat me like I'm nothing, I'll treat you like you're nothing. And I'm going to show you how bad that is. Like, nah. It's that whole thing. He's his own person. So, they still can reincarnate, probably, if they met the creator. Otherwise, like, once you know the creator and everything like that, it's like your Babaji from the Autobiography of Yogi. You can sit here and fold yourself up into your orb or your singularity, become a little light, because you have your sun on, and you orb away. You can travel through space-time as just an orb, and like look at like things, and then you get to a planet, and then unfold yourself there, and make your body appear. Like through the different levels of Yod-He, Val-He, you make yourself actually manifest again, from unmanifest to manifest. So, greatest vision of the grandest version of who I am. Exactly. You want to go for the greatest vision and grandest version of who you are, and live inside that character, but understand like all the stuff, the extra stuff that comes along with it. Yes, that's what I mentioned. This lifetime room appears since January. You're balancing the scales. Got to balance the scales within yourself. What do you think about all this twin flame stuff? It's out there, man. It happens. I'm in love. Like, you know, it sucks that you, like, when you start doing this and you get your memories back and you know the person right in front of you, and they're like, I'm not your person, and then you're like, and then they go off and tell you some stuff, and they do stuff, and you have all these memories inside your heart of that person, and they're doing the same things they always do inside every different lifetime, and you can see them right in front of you, but no, you're not the person, and it's all free will, so you can't force anything, and so you have to go away, and maybe that person won't be your person anymore. I don't know. It's a thing, though. It's a hell of a thing. Language of the birds, the avians. Language of the birds, I use that for the limbic system. Your bird brain, like Twitter, Elon Musk, the Twitter feeds your limbic system. The serpent brain is your survival system. If you go like everyone else, most people now, they're chickens, because the serpents evolved into the birds, right? So they went from being these dinosaurs, raptors, and all this stuff like that, and now they're chickens caught in their bird brain. But some people, they become feathered serpents, and they have the feathers on the outside. Then you put the giant wings on them from the neocortex, and you have the dragon. So the language of the birds, I'm using symbolism to talk to your limbic system. Symbols, signs, colors, your old cartoons when you're little. I'm showing the examples inside that. And also, I'm like giving stuff from books. The books and language of the birds are the books you should read. Because inside of it, I'm giving you the keys to how to control your energy and cultivation. So you want to look for the red phoenix and red and blue phoenix on my page when you scroll down. That's language of the birds. Look at those books. Look into those series. And as you read the series, you'll learn cultivation is expensive, but it's okay. Like, you know, everything can't be for free. People have time. They spend time writing stuff like that. And it's important to be patrons to people who are creating art. But the things they're daydreaming, once you start sitting there and looking at it and be like, wait a second, man, that feels too real. Let me try this technique out. You start trying things, you start realizing these people, they're getting stuff. It's all right there. If you want to take a look in a book, reading Rainbow Children, the answers are in the books. It's literally right there. I'm a soul contact practitioner. It's not opinion yet. I use Hebrew phonetics to break the sound of your name down in numerology. I straight but your birth certificate name holds it. Teaching is not being taught, and rambling spoken in the name of God is what I've seen in so far. Yeah, it's teachings are not being taught. I don't know what else to like. I've been just trying to teach and like make it make sense and add it all together. I'm writing my book right now. And be like, here goes all the stuff y'all want to know. I'm gonna go play the game. My contract, like you said, someone just said their soul contract thing. Well, when I went back in, I got contracts. The scripture that kept on popping up was, I will send a comforter in my name, and he will bring things to your remembrance. I'm like, fuck no, I'm not doing that. I'm supposed to be the destroyer. And it's like, that comes later. They need a comforter right now. You gotta teach stuff. I'm like, no, bro. I don't want to do that. I had no choice but to accept the contract in order for me to progress forward. It's like being in a video game and you have to do the thing you don't want to do. So, whatever. It's sound is creative. A name change equals a new soul contract. Energies that has sounds in it. Yeah, the sound is super important. Well, kind of. It's an individual thing. Every new name is different. It's like I can sit here and be like Enkil. Enki plus Enlil is Enkil. Enkil. E is how they spell it inside the Queen of the Damned book. But Enkil, Enkil, is the King of the Damned. And I made Enkyl, Enkil, the King of the Damaged. Like spelling, sound, all of it. It has things. Hear without ears, see without sight, speak without words, all inside yourself. Hear the sounds from within. You can sit here and be like, what's the ocean sound like? And you hear the that type of thing. You hear birds chirping. You can sit here and see a red ball bouncing in the street, moving down. You can look around to the area and be like, what type of street am I on? All that stuff like that. See without sight. Hear without sound. And if you speak inside yourself, sing a song within yourself, you're making vibration still internally. So, are there levels to light body? Yep, there are levels to light body. There's different things that you go through and break down. Artorian's Divine Dungeon series is really good about that one. Talking about how you replace your meridians out and you use your energy, because you're taking in the energy from the world around you. You cultivate your chi, and then you use that chi to replace different things within your body. Luckily for me, I've already gotten like where I'm tapped in, and you open the pineal gland. And now if you do something, you mess up in your cultivation and you die from it, you don't lose your information. Like, you know, the whole thing about spontaneous combustion, people are setting themselves on fire from their dantian or like whatever. I don't know how they do it, but it happens and the body catches on fire and like that's it. But if I'm sitting here and I like do my whole meditations inside myself before I start trying to apply it to the physical world outside of me, I can go back and meet the creator, do that whole thing, and then now you're saved. You're known. Good job. If you mess up, he got you. You're experimenting, you're going through reality, you're finding out how things work for yourself and that type of stuff. He's got your back, he brings you back. You are now with me, for now and forever. So, there's levels to light body, because we can all change out different things, man. We're making our own characters. You don't want the same powers that I have. You won't use it the same way that I would use it. So we go through different processes. It's all the same stuff, the same soup, but we're just mixing up a little bit different in our kitchens. So, ouch, twin flames, our closest energetic match, meant to teach us true self-love by loving from afar. Not necessarily twin flames is like, that person can be right there. You don't gotta be from afar. The only difference is, since you have to be a soul at first. Right now you have your spirit. You have to turn on the star in your head and activate your soul. And then the person that's there, they have to turn on their soul too. So once they turn on their soul, and the two like get your Merkaba. Mer is the sun in the sky, right? That's the sun, the merman. The sun is it's conscious. It has a ring on the outside of it. Then you have the Ka within you. And somewhere out there in the creation, there's a quantum double that you're entangled with that's constantly taking in all your information, so it's stored there. Once you go Yod and activate your star fully, if you've already had a star before turned on, you're an old soul. You already had a soul. You were just here in this body, and you had to go through the practices, reaffirm your faith, wake up your soul, and now since you have this vibration and this vibration are both the same code, you get the information linked into you, and it's like downloading into you. And then, because space-time is everywhere, time isn't real, or whatever you want to say, wherever your star is in that local area, back through the inside of the singularity, is somewhere else out there in the cosmos. And then you have the local sun area and the axis in this network right here. The sun is its own being, it's its administrator of the area. And so you've turned on your star here on the planet. The sun recognizes your star, goes inside to the Father, tells to the Father, and they find you to locate your star, your Ba, somewhere in the creation. Those two places get entangled at the same time, and you get triangulated here. So it's like the Anu, Enki, and Lil. And Anu is Lord of the All. Then you have like Enki within you, which is like the Lord of the Waters, which is up here. And then you have Lord of the Command, which is you down here on Earth. And all three of those kind of go in together and become one. And it's a way to consider it. But it's the Mer and the Ka and the Ba all acting together. You activate your Merkaba, you form that trinity of like existence, and so therefore you're in it. So you have your information, the other person has to get their information, and then you both can get along with getting along. And once you get your stuff back. But right now we're here on a mission to like help humanity or wake people up, and then let the creator do what he's gonna do. Because this is some what? Why the hell would people think it's okay to rape babies? Like, and no, do you think nothing's gonna happen? That's so dumb. That's like, it's a collective consciousness of pure dreaming that can have a liminal backlash and mess this whole place up inside of a way that's horrible. Like, it'll rip through all the dimensions because of the power of the child. And the creator will just sit here and be like, you should have gave the babies hope. Now they kill themselves while they're 5 years old. Fucking up. I'm telling you. Fucking bad. So. Blah, blah, blah. I'm screaming. Yeah, it's. I didn't mean to say blah, blah, blah like that, by the way. It's just like, I have like, I don't know, it's like astrology, numerology, all these different codes, and it's like, you're ruled by the stars because of all this stuff going on. Like me, I'm an Aries, Sagittarius, and like my midnight color is a Libra. So fire, 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 air. Shiva. I'm Shiva. Even after my awakening, like, I have my new one, May 27, 2020 in Houston at 10:31 in the morning. So that makes me a Gemini, Aries. So I'm air and then fire. Or no, Gemini, Leo, air and fire. So I'm still Shiva that way, or Vasi, whichever. But yeah, there's some type of afterlife if you go there. Like, everyone has different forms of afterlife. If you're sleepy, if a person's like, I died and I didn't see nothing, it's probably because you're tired and you're gonna rest for a little bit. If you see a light, that's usually you going back through like a tunnel to go somewhere else to talk to people on a higher level that is cultivating and stimulating. And then if you go past the first light and you can see the second light, that's the key to getting off this planet. But the second light won't appear to you unless you're ready to go somewhere else and you've formed a decent enough character that you can go and live on our planet and like just kind of wake up there. And inside that mode is like all these isekai animes come out now. So, and the character works like the person dies and they wake up somewhere else in a new body, and they keep on going on with their journey. Yep, that happens. So, if you were good enough to get in to do something else, and your type of character is needed somewhere else on the planet to be a stimulating force, you get used in that way. It's not like you're a toy or anything. Most people they actually want to have the powers, and it's like, oh yes, it's so cool. Like, yeah, so it's fun. It's supposed to be fun. Monsters Inc. went from fear to laughter because it's supposed to be fun. They're not making it fun. And as far as books, someone asked me to recommend books. The Cradle series by Will White. These are fiction books. Fiction. 1,000 Li by Tao Wang. And Li is spelled Li. Artorian's Divine Apostasy by Dakota Vanderkurgen or Vanderkraut. His name's Dakota. What else do I like reading? Night Lord by Garen Whited. Those books are really long. They're really thicky boys, but some things are explained in there that you probably like. It's done in a journal style, so I like it. Yeah, those are just a few. Yes, I'm in awe. You're the first human I've heard speaking all this out loud. Thank you. Not fully human, but it's so cool. It's a thing. It's right there. It's right in front of everyone's face. I don't know why. It's like, I don't know. It's hard to understand. And like, we even know truth is hidden in plain sight. Like, we told that. It's really right there. All it takes is for someone to bring it to your remembrance and be like, it's right there. That's why I got the contract of the Comforter, so that I can do that whole thing and be like, oh. And you'd expect a person to show up and like, no, man, I'm a dude and doing my own things. This is just a thing that popped up. If somebody else wants to be the Comforter, go do it, man. Do it, please, so I can stop doing it. Like, take the contract. Do it. Do it. My Sith word comes out. Do it, please. Because now I feel like because I took the contract, I have a form of responsibility to everyone. And because of the level that I attained inside of my thing, being like All Father level or whatever, because before I was just God King level thing. There's different levels of existence that you get to, and then you have to fall back down, and you take another text to go into a different form and phase of your existence within your time within the creation. So, everyone has tests. Eventually, because infinity is eternal, eventually another garden will get like this again, and people the note will go out for people to be called from other worlds to come here or come there and live amongst those people and go through various challenges and tests and have new characters wake up and go through that whole thing. So, what are my best meditation tips? Sing a song inside yourself. constantly. Like have a soundtrack going. Like inside movies, we have constant sound going on in the background. And if you keep a constant sound going on inside yourself in the background, you can kind of really listen to your own music, and you start to know when your emotions are changing by your sound that you sing. You'll find you go through certain cycles and certain songs that you sing within yourself. And all the angels are singing in heaven. So inside yourself, heaven's within yourself. So that's the Bhagavad Gita. Speak of it right here. Bhagavad Gita means the beloved Lord's secret love song. What's the secret love song? The one you sing inside yourself. So that's like one of my best meditation tips. And it really, like, you'll sit there and find yourself jamming out inside yourself so heavy sometimes that even though people are talking to you, you'll just be like tuning them out because you're really inside some good complicated music going on, and you're just doing there. And so you you take a form of disassociation that happens, but you're in control of it. You can choose to turn the music up or turn the music down. You're turning volume up and down inside yourself. So when you want to detach from this out here, you turn the music up inside yourself, and it's like Yode Vawe Yo, and then I turn it down, and I go from inside to outside. I move from like having my awareness outside myself to pulling it inside myself and going up, and then, but my song is constantly playing inside myself, my soundtrack. But it's me. No one has to know what I do inside myself. No one has to know what you do inside you. No one has to know your song. It's a secret song. So I'm just pointing out that's what I do. I mean, how do you pass time in eternity? Well, if you just woke up there in the dark and you sit there, first thing is sound, man. First thing is sound. You gotta make some jams. Gotta have some drums. You gotta hear that bass inside yourself. And when you start doing that, learn how to use your energy internally, the waters within you, you make that vibration happen. So that's pretty cool. Yes, I teach meditation completely different than I was originally taught. Yeah, good soup. Thanks, bro. Meditation is not about going anywhere. All you do is join what is already occurring. Pretty much. That's another form of it. What does it mean to be a Syrian at the truest form? And are they connected to Atlantis? Probably. I mean, like, I don't know. There's a bunch of different races out there, man. I'm from Xanthos. That's not even like anything mentioned here. I've only seen one other thing pop up online with one other writing of a person describing my homeworld. I'm like, oh man, there's another Xanthonian here. Like, so there's people from all over the place. So I'm sorry if I can't give you more specific stuff. My stuff's more of a broad thing for everyone, being like, why y'all fucking up? Hey, why y'all kidnapping babies off the planet and stuff? Why is there intergalactic human trafficking in a galaxy far, far away? Why is there here to lay smack down? Like, done. It's stupid. World. When you daydream, you're in between the two. You're awake within the dream. We call those people that daydream all the time, we call them airheads. Well, Jesus will meet you in the clouds or the air. So you have to daydream. And as you daydream, you allow yourself to manifest it. That's why I say build a temple in yourself. Go to the place of earth, go to the place of water, go to a place of fire, like a volcano. Like I have a forest, I go to a lakeside or ocean, I go to the volcanic rim, or also a desert that has like oil towers inside there that spews up black smoke everywhere. And then that's my battle zone. Then we have right here, the heart, air. So the air is like the air temples you see with the rocks that float and everything, you know, like that's my air temple type space. And then you have the earth or vibration, temple of sound. And so that has to do more like, I don't know, my stuff's kind of weird. It's like greed-ish type thing. So it's like the world's kind of post-apocalyptic and destroyed, and everyone's greedy, and like the vibrations are like really bad. So you have to like learn how to control yourself. Then here, the ajna is like the cosmic thing. So I'll be sitting there out inside outer space and like move my hands and have multiple arms coming out, and I'm like this giant body thing, like I don't know. So you have to go inside yourself and tap into that by your daydreaming. That's how you do it. You tap into your internal spiritual knowledge, and you start to get back to the point where like your stuff, your soul. If you have a soul before, and this isn't your first time forming the soul, going through that process, you start to get where that information is coming into you through your subconscious mind, because you already gave it to yourself when you were a kid. You just forgot it and got caught up in the world outside yourself. You have to go back inside yourself to tap into it. So your energy is needed and used somewhere else. Energy is whatever. People generate energy all the time. So I tell people don't commit suicide. Because if you reject the creation, well, you already exist and you're aware, so you're a light. So you get stuck in the first hell. And that energy you're generating, sitting there, going crazy because you want something more, we can use that to power this. That's what you want. And not exactly the most efficient way to do it, but hey, you went against the game. What else are we supposed to do with you? You took yourself out of this. This is what it is. You go back to the first place, which is darkness, which is where the creator started. It started off from a point of hell. From darkness it came to light. The light was made for a reason. Before there was light, there was sound. We used to walk around on planets with dark spears. And like we used sound to communicate with each other. All that type of stuff. Before you had eyes, you could hear. So, and the eyes came on later. Bam. I did not choose to come back. As rock my beliefs. No one chooses to come back. People will say this is my last time incarnating. No, it's not. You're eternal. You are your own instance of existence. You have to learn to live with that. You are you. You didn't ask to be born. The creator didn't ask to exist. The only way to get other people that will exist with the creator is to make more people that are like him and put them through things and get them to go through seeking and understanding so that he can find the people that are for him, that want to live inside of eternity and do the whole seas of cosmic infinity, but do it like smartly. People want to get into heaven so they can be given everything. That's what they want. They want to get everything, and then they don't think about it, though. You can be given everything. Then what does eternity matter? You're still going to exist. You're still going to feel time. It does not end. The creator does not end. We are his children. It's a mind-bending thing. It'll mess you up once you start really getting into it. But it is what it is. You have to learn to accept it for what it is. Can't change it. It is what it is. It sucks, though. It can suck. It can also be really awesome. I've realized my eternity isn't something that I'm going to suffer. I'm going to do the game and play the thing and do my thing, because that's what it really is. Everyone else out there in this crazy madhouse world, that's on them. Like, bro, like you have to deal with yourself firstly. You have to live with yourself firstly. Before anyone else lives with you, you got to learn how to live with yourself and how you'd want to be in eternity. So this is that whole forming time. You have 80 years to figure out how to live with yourself, but most people don't do the internal work. And since they're not doing the internal work, what can we do? You have to do it. You have to build yourself. It's all about you. You are the center of your own universe. Not the center of the multiverse, but you are a universe, and you are the center of your own universe. No matter, you can look at Nassim Haramein's Black Hole 2011, with the W spelled for the hole. And he points out that there, every point is a point of singularity. Every point is the center of the universe. You are the universe. But that's one verse experiencing itself, one instance of existence, and this is a multiverse we live in. There's layers to it. So the first step going back to the creator is finding the creator within self. Exactly. Can you write these down somewhere? You know what? I could like make a short video and write them down eventually, or just I'll put it onto like a video. I don't know. I still have to respond to old dude, Mr. Yes guy. So he's gonna get the curse. You must also get bored easily. Yeah, I can get bored really easily. I have to focus. I focus in on one thing, and once I'm focusing on that, I'm doing that for that time, and then I have other things I want to go learn. So I go off and do like the other thing I want to go learn. I'm constantly always keeping myself busy. And I'm passing time, remembering what I used to do, waiting for my partner to wake up so we can go eat good food and I can learn to teleport and go all do those other things. Like, right now, the person I know that reminds me of her, she's about the money and all the other stuff of this world. And I'm like, I don't really care about that. I want to teleport. I want to be like, hey, you want to go to France and have a baguette like right now at nighttime? Open the void and be like, let's go. you want to go to the lavender fields? You want to go watch things inside like over there in the Netherlands? Oh, you want to go ahead and like teleport to the Maldives and like go over there and hang out? Like, what's up? Let's go do these things. I want to go to all these places. So I get bored easily, and so I'm adjusting myself to make sure I'm doing practice and, you know, speaking to everyone, doing my things for my contracts, as well as doing my teaching before I go into my private spiritual practice, so I can go ahead and learn to do my things again, so I can get back into the game. I'm tired of this, whatever this is. Boring. The world is boring as hell. How close do you finish your book? I don't want to read it. I don't know. I'm on like chapter 7, which is, I have a prologue, chapter 0, 1, and I'm on 7, like 1 through 7. I'm trying, I don't want to be too long. I might go with 17, because, you know, that the whole 17 and Q and all that stuff, Q being the seed. So the book's supposed to be like a seed package, an upgrade to your thinking, using the actual quotes from like different legends and lore to make it where it makes sense. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Yeah. So, even when the sperm hits the egg, we call it conception, right? Because the light flashes on the outside. Concept ion. Who are you? Even from the moment that the egg fertilized to make your body, you were asked the question, who are you? Concept ion. You're the little light. You're the little awareness that's going to come out of there. So, it's amazing to be music within. It's amazing to be music within. Yep, see result. My father's name is Santos. Is that what you said? No, I didn't say Santos, but I don't remember what that's in reference to. Be back. I know it seems to be the most disconnected species currently. Yeah, they're pretty disconnected here. In the Kali Yuga, doesn't it say we are in the time where we are surrounded in greed? Yep. That's what's happening right now. Where the Kali's over, it's just we're still inside the Sandus period in between the two, and we're adjusting. Yeah, I do offer one-on-one communication. I talk to people all the time. If you start going down, if you go to my videos, go back to the first one. And if you want to explain it all the way, start going through. And as you go through, like the videos, and I'll see you liking it, and I'll like follow you back in case you have any questions or want to discuss anything. Like people can send me messages, they just don't. But I make the option there for whatever, you know, or like I say, like watch the videos first. I know it's a lot of stuff and it takes a few days to get through, but watch it first, and then you'll be like, okay, so what about this? What about that? And I take Q&As. I've been collecting the questions people ask me in the conversations I have, and just taking away the person's personal information and just having like as a cue and then my response to it. And I might be building a book inside that way as well for a different type of crowd. If, you know, some of the stuff might seem like madness, other stuff might not, I don't know, but it's a journal type thing. Know anything about Hades? The Hades? No, I don't. Yep, the Eternal Return. Okay. I suggest shadow work first. Shadow work is always whatchamacallit. When Antarctica break down, we will see the Atlanteans. Yep, the black lands. If you look at Antarctica, the sand is black over there, and there's a pyramid, so that's actually like, that's the black lands. It's not Egypt. Egypt isn't Egypt. If you look at like the map, Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt is above Upper Egypt. Flip it upside down. Antarctica is actually the North Pole. And South Africa is the only place that still has names like South. Like you have Liberia, Nigeria, Libya, all that stuff over there in South Africa. All of them have their own African names. Well, not South Africa. And that place has been in a 400-year resting period. And it's still called South Africa. So there you go. That's a hint. That's a key area for all this. Do you understand all the hype around 369? If one were reverse and put in the source first, would see what Tesla meant. This is understanding will change everything. Yep. Is it true that we are neutron stars? Yep. You're balancing out your positive and negative. When you add positive and negative together, you're neutral. An atom, right? Like I say, middle, nucleus, neutrons, and protons. Everyone always overlooks the nucleus or the neutrons of amount, and you have the electrons on the outside. The creator is neutral. You keep your daughters close, and then you have your boys on the outside, or the Elohim, the L's, right? Electricity, L. And people are now tomboys. Tom means innocent boy. So what was once female is now becoming male, right? And so you have to use both male and female together to become neutral, like the creator in the center, to make your way back. So everyone's neutron stars when we turn it on. You turn on the star in your head. Right now, you're accumulating the data to be able to turn on your star. Have you found your past lives? I found 5 7 minutes. Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten entangled if I didn't know my names. I've actually shared them before online. Shit's ramping up. Been feeling electricity in my body and created an arc with my car by accident. You gotta be careful, bro. I've known people who've shorted out their electrical system in their car because they're driving and just and their whole shit. I've been sitting around inside like a bar before, and I was out of my emotional control. Like my emotions just got too much to me, and I was like, and as soon as that happened, the whole bar's lights started flashing and went off, and I was like, I don't need to do that. Oh Lord, don't let me be the person that goes off and shuts down society with the EMP because I accidentally like just whatchamacallit. Nah, we don't want that. I like power. It's hot in Texas. I like being able to have running water so I can take poops. I don't want to go dig holes. So I'm just trying to stay here and be chill, have my powers, leave society alone, and go do my thing. And, tell the story, and then whatever happens from the creator thing, whatever we achieve, if he makes everyone go mad, would be preferable. And at least that way, like, we could still have people that if they were seeking, they're close enough, we could still have people to man all the different things, keep stuff going. But we don't really want that slavery, so we want to take the robots and them and use that type of stuff to manage the systems, which is what should be done. And everyone should be sitting around doing the meditations and going inside themselves, learning how to master their powers. So, and then whenever you can do that, you can sit here and use your chi and just manifest stuff, whatever you want out of nowhere. So that's the idea, the cool part of it. But then once everyone can do that, then what does anything mean? What does anything matter? Do you start getting into a deeper level of depression and like other stuff that can come up? So it's going to be issues. No matter what we do, how we fix it, it's going to always still have some type of issue inside of it because someone's not going to like it or someone's going to feel like they're being like not treated equally or whatever. It's just going to happen. The book will be valuable. Think of value. Sorry, ask for more money. Yeah, I was going to like do something super cheap, and I decided when I make the book, instead of like doing like something that's like just really it was cheap, I'm gonna do 33 because I'm 33 years old, and it should be done by 33% of my life through this year. So the next few weeks, I'm gonna try to get this all typed up and done for the first book. So coding 33 master number. So the neutron stars will become magnets or black holes, something like that. There's different like ways that you can become dark stars and all types of stuff, dude. This stuff's so complicated, man. When you start getting into the sciences of it and stuff, I'm literally like I'm Naruto or I'm like Goku. I go out there and do the damn thing, and then I think about it later. So it's kind of like Gohan. Yeah, I'm like Gohan. I go out there and do the thing, and then I sit back and read books later, and I'm like, oh, here goes me, college professor. Where I used to be this badass that would fight all the time, transform. And now I'm just like, no, dude, no. I'm going to do this. And so now I have to like ramp myself back up and get back into my Gohan mode. Because they're taking kids. Someone's going to go hunting. But yeah, my phone's dying, guys. I'm about to go and get her. Yeah, exactly. Monks describes advanced meditating as filling a balloon within yourself and all. Do you agree? All right. Sit here, breathe in your mouth. As you breathe in your mouth, let your belly out. Then let it out. Now breathe in through your nose and let your chest out. notice the difference between those two different cavities, okay? Now breathe in your mouth 80% and breathe in your chest the last 20. And you can feel like there's a little gourd within you. It's like you're filling in a balloon within yourself. You're pulling the chi from the world outside you, the ether into you, like seeing balls of light going in. And as you breathe out, you're not breathing the light back out. You're breathing the light into your body. And you're cultivating and stimulating energy. It's a basic power breath. I actually have that written into the book. So, there you go. That's a part of it. So you feel you know your names in past lives help you. Can you speak further on that? My past life name and my name now, again, because I'm still me. I just had to go through this thing of being this dude named Alex. But now that I'm like reconnected and back into myself, Merrick Denatra was my name, is my name. Merrick A. Denatra now. Merrick is the ruler of the Sea of Power. Denatra, I didn't know. The dude just told me his name when I was doing my meditations, my past, prior self. It's like being eaten by your old self, but you were always that person. It's weird. I came here looking for my partner, Mariah. His name is Merrick. It wasn't until years later that I went to look up what the name Merrick means, and it means like the ruler of the Sea of Power. And Mariah is like the guiding light of the sea. And I'm like, oh, because I'm a dark dude. And I'll go out here and just start blowing stuff up and be like, fuck you. I don't care, fuck you. But then she gets mad at me. And I love her. I love her. And I love her, so like I have to be nice. Like legit, like have to be nice. 'Cause I don't want to piss her off too. I'll piss her off, but I don't want to piss her off too bad. Because then she goes without talking to me for a long time. And then she goes without talking to me for a long time. Then I feel sad. I don't want to feel sad. Because I like her. Like, it's so stupid. So, yeah. Great destroyer, destroy everything. It's like Inuyasha and Kagome. She'll Kagome me, sit boy. And I'm like, ugh. But I had to make sure she didn't have too much control over me because I'm still wild. I don't want to be domesticated. Women domesticate men. I'm trying to, like, not be domesticated. I'm trying to go ahead and teleport and go other places and play the game and be like, what's up? We on the same level, girl. So, but in Denatra, I looked that up like in 2020. Day is of, from Spanish, natra, N-A-T-R-A, is of a dance or a sage. And everyone's been calling me a sage the whole time. And apparently by my name from within myself, I am a sage. I'm the white king of naught or nothing, which everything's nothing. It's all these things I've been saying for years. Now it comes like to the surface and like, okay guys, yeah, it's cool. That's dumb, cool. So that filling the balloon, the advanced form of meditation is a breath. I call that a bellows breath. As you sit here and when you get to the middle of the two gourds, you can feel like an energy ball like right there. You can also sit here and stick your arms up, right? And now sit here and think about yourself being a turtle and you're pulling yourself into your shell, but keep your arms out and pull the energy into your shell from your legs everywhere. Pull everything back in and you'll feel it go to the center of your body. And that's another type of technique for it. Turtle stuff. There's different versions of how to use the cultivation, but yeah, there's higher level things. Utilize the AI for what it is exactly. What's the deal with Agartha and the Earth? I'm so curious about what's going on. They're down there, like, it's a thing. That's probably the south side. The North Pole's up here in the center. And if you take like the flat Earth and kind of ball it up, you have the hole to go to the inside of the plane at the other thing, and you would never know. You would never know that this planet was folded up as a plane. And now it looks like a sphere. It was a circle. Now it's folded up, and it comes back to that little point. You'd never know. You wouldn't know. They'll never know. Like, if you take that and be like, oh, now it's a sphere. Doesn't matter the shape. No, it doesn't. It's weird because some refer to Namekians like Piccolo as Moors and sun and solar beings like Goku. Yeah, I've been called Piccolo a lot. And like my clicks are like Moorish code. But at the same time, I'm also like a solar being because I have the sun turned on. Amun-Ra, the sun, and all stuff like that. Yeah. I feel that. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, it's funny because people see the Moors like Piccolo. Yeah. have more dark, I guess. I ate myself, vomited myself, and then ate myself again. Then my reality chain, yeah, it happens. How do you feel about Magi or Solomon's wisdom? That's a thing. I have the still Solomon. It's all this stuff's real. I say flat, round, sphere, cube, etc. It doesn't matter what shape it is. Do you really care? If you went to a world that was shaped like a cube, would you care? If it was shaped like a donut, would you care? No, you wouldn't. You're there for the world to see the sights and have the things to do. Does it need to make sense inside the dream? Oh, oh, yes. That's a perfect screenshot. Oh, 144,000 Naughty Beaver reviews. All right, my phone's dying, guys. I got to get out of here. I hope you all have a good night. I talked for a lot longer than I intended to, and I'll catch you all later.